What's going on? What's going on, film fam? Welcome to another episode of Let the Film Speak. I am one of your hosts, Chop. Here with my main man, Willie Jack. Willie Jack, how you doing this evening, my dog?
Hey man, feeling good, feeling great, man. This Wednesday and I'm talking about, man. That's all I came to do.
Hey, well, I'm glad you in here with me, man. You know what we're gonna do, the same thing we always do, and we're gonna hold it down, man. Today's topic man, we're talking about the top safeties going into the 2023 season, man. We're talking about the back end. You know what I'm saying? We're talking about the guys that's the last line of defense. You know what I mean? That's what we're talking about today. We're gonna jump into some of those guys, you know what I mean, break those guys down, and I'm gonna tell y'all again why I'm right and why Willie's wrong, man. Unless he got the same name. We're gonna see how that goes. But first, we got house rules, man. House rules are the same as always. That's like, that's share, that subscribe. You know, become the newest member of the film fam. We truly appreciate each and every one of y'all for coming in and checking us out, for stepping in the chat, you know, for checking in with us. Of course, check in. If y'all in here right now, man, check in with your boys, man. Let us know what's going on. Let us know you in here. If you're new, let us know your team, you know, and the whole nine. Give us all that information, you know what I mean? That way we can chit chat back with you. And don't forget to hit that notification bell, man. Hit the notification bell. How else are we going to find out, you know, how else are you going to find out what we got cooking up? Willie Jack, I can't talk today. How else are you going to find out what me and your dog Willie Jack got cooking in the kitchen when we put some stuff together, man? Hey, and we're just going to make it happen for y'all. And I guarantee you, we will not let you down. Willie Jack, we got a little bit of news today, man. Got a little bit of news.
For sure.
And it's involving, the crazy part is involving more of some of the same issues we've been dealing with pretty much this entire offseason, you know, throughout the offseason. First, it was Jamison Williams. It was it Quintez Cephas. And then now we have more players, man. And the one that, of course, the name that's been mentioned is Isaiah Rodgers. Okay, it's the one name that's out. Isaiah Rodgers will be suspended for the 2023 season, the entire season, man. The NFL is cracking down, players. I don't know if you're noticing. They are cracking down on this betting. So if you out here betting on NFL games in any way, form, or fashion, they coming to get you. And Isaiah Rodgers was the latest. All right. Now, there's a handful of other players that probably will be suspended for the entire season, along with Isaiah Rodgers. You know, and in Isaiah Rodgers' case, he allegedly was betting on Colts games. He is a corner for the Colts. Mm-hmm. All right. So they're cracking down. Willie Jack, you got anything on this one, man? What's your thoughts on this?
And so, yeah, man, when I seen the story, I was like, man, this is getting crazy because with the big suspension announcement that came out from Jamison Williams and Jamison Williams, the receiver? J-Mo, the receiver for the Lions. And it was, okay, yeah, there we go. And it was like 6 Lions players. I think 4 of them were receivers. And so I would have thought that would have been more than enough of an example for the rest of the league. Like, hey, look, man, look, is it really worth it? And this is coming on the heels of Calvin Ridley, who we've seen just get back into the league or for this up. And so one thing I was thinking about, now that I say that, is the timing. I wonder if maybe I would anticipate, this had to be going on for quite a while, and then they're just putting together, finalizing his investigation, and now it's being announced. But kind of like we just mentioned right beforehand, man, this one on some of these other suspensions is a little. I don't want to say for lack of a better word, it's a little hypocritical because the NFL is full-fledged in bed with Vegas, the casinos, and gambling now. And so they've integrated gambling into the league, which had been like taboo for them to do for years and years and years, which is why they were so reluctant to even go to Las Vegas until just 2-3 years ago now with the Raiders. And so now that gambling is a full-fledged part of the game now, accepted, I think there is going to have to be some tweaking or some reimagining of these rules. But now in the specific example for Buddy from the Colts, he's betting on Colts games. And so this gets into the whole Pete Rose betting on baseball, and he's betting on his own team. So if you're especially betting on your own team, yeah, man, that definitely calls into question the integrity of the game. And then so that's the argument Pete Rose made all those years. Like, well, I always bet on us to win. Well, did you, Pete? Because the money is betting on y'all to lose because you can help y'all lose. You know what I mean? There's only so much of your control trying to win, but you could definitely tank a team to lose if you're out there intentionally missing plays or missing balls or whatever the case. And so it's a very slippery slope.
Yeah, absolutely, Willie Jack. With the Pete Rose case, and I don't want to get too much into baseball, but I don't know how much he was trying to lose putting up all them Hall of Fame numbers, man. The guy was cold. You know what I'm saying? The only reason he's not in the Hall
I
of
mean,
Fame is because of that. You know, but I get you.
but they play 162 games in baseball. He tricked the 20 of them. He got 20 to play around with, man. He got to eat around with all them games.
I got you. I heard you, man. I heard you. But you know, in terms of betting, though, I do feel you on that one. In terms of like, I'm on the side of allowing the players a little bit of freedom, allowing them to experience a little bit of life. Like I would. This is a little bit of information in my personal life, man. But I worked with or used to work with a guy who couldn't even play in our fantasy football league for $50 because he coached for a track team. You know what I'm saying? Like, in my opinion, that's ridiculous. Like, it's something.
That's a little much. Yeah.
Now that has nothing to do with the NFL or anything like that. And I get it. You know, NFL players betting on fantasy. It's like, okay, I'm gonna let this guy get a lot of yards because I know I'm gonna win in my fantasy league, or I'm gonna let. It's a little. That's a little bit too iffy. But in terms of betting on other sports, man, or other things, like I feel like there should be a little bit more leniency in that. Now, you probably could go as far as saying, oh, man, some of these players got connections at colleges and this and this and that. I don't know how much people are really going into betting that much, man. But I would say that in terms of the NFL, Isaiah Rodgers, you got to be better, man. Got to be smarter. You got to think about everything. I know y'all probably were getting away with it. That's what they probably was. They were probably getting away with it for so long that they felt like, all right, I'm good to go. But then, you know, things happen, and the NFL right now is really cracking down. So they're looking for any reason to find a player who's been gambling on any type of sports event, and they cracking down, man. And it looks like they're giving you the year, especially for if you betting on your own team.
Now betting on your own team, and I'll even go further than that. It makes sense to me now. Your homeboy couldn't get in the fantasy league, man, because he coached track, man. Like, hey, man, that's
crazy.
That's wild, you know what I mean? Crazy. That was a little wild. You know what I mean? But I think it does make sense if you're an NFL player, you can't bet on any NFL team because, like you said, those connections are real. You know what I'm saying? Like, you and a homeboy, or you and a guy played for the Chargers for 4 years, and he gets traded to the Broncos. Or, you know, there's just too many things that could just go wrong. So I can understand like not betting on NFL games at all, like zero tolerance. Don't even play in our sandbox. You know what I mean? Like, just don't even give no room for that. Betting on college, because I think the thing with Jameson Williams and some of those guys, he was betting on college, which is okay, but he did like his FanDuel or whatever in the practice facility. And so I guess if he'd have drove out the parking lot and then hit send on his picks or whatever, he's good. But since he was still in the parking lot or still in the facility, and even though it was college and not NFL, or you know, so that's a little. I mean, that's I think a little too tedious. You know what I'm saying? Like, if I'm on the sidewalk here, I'm good. If I step over here, I'm not good. Like that's like a little too much. But yeah, as far as this guy betting on his own games at that. Yeah, I don't know how that's gonna play out.
So I guess the 1 point matters, and I pretty much know your answer to this, Willie Jack, because I know you, and I know you're a smart guy. I guess the end of the day answer is this: if somebody paid me right now $10 million a year to stop betting, you bet your bottom line. Your boy won't touch another betting site. Your boy won't play another fantasy league game for nothing. Oh, give me $10 million a year. You won't have to worry about me betting nothing.
I mean, see, I think what we lose track of is that like when you're in that world, that money becomes relative. And so let's say if somebody's getting paid $10 million, his 10 don't look nothing to Devontae's 30. So you know what I'm saying? Like, if I'm a receiver making $10 million, I think I'm that guy, and I'm making a third of what Devontae, or you know what I'm saying? So like, relative speaking, and then also my lifestyle is 10. So I filled up $10 million worth of check with $10 million worth of lifestyle. And so and what ends up happening is a lot of the times those guys live game check to game check, much like most of us live paycheck to paycheck. You know what I'm saying? And so they got those same stressors, and it's just a multiplier on all their bills. So if you ever had a week where an unknown catastrophe happened at the crib, and now you need an emergency $2,000 to fix something, you know what I'm saying? Now imagine if your emergency fix something that's $20,000. Damn, or just extrapolating it that way to make it relative, because it definitely is like, okay, well, I got 10 million, man. What you doing on FanDuel when you got 10 million? And so, but like I said, man, I think I would imagine, depending on the style of gambling, the numbers are probably quite a great deal bigger. But yeah, I don't know.
But imagine doing that and somebody telling you, all right, no, now you can't work for a year. It's subtracted to just 1 million. So now you gotta live off 1 million for the year instead of the $10 million lifestyle you've been living. You know what I'm saying? Like, I get the aspects of it, but like I do think they should be allowed some sort of freedom. You know what I'm saying? In my opinion. Simple joys in life, man.
Keep the NFL off limit, and then, like I said, man, college basketball, or you know what I'm saying, all that stuff, man. I don't see how that could be a conflict of interest, but I can see the obvious conflict with the NFL, though, for sure.
Absolutely. And all you players, man, y'all see they cracking down. Y'all better get out of there. Get out of there, man. Get out of there while you can. All right, Willie Jack, that's the news for today. We got light news. Y'all know we in the off season, man. Mini camp is over. Nothing's really going on. Just suspension, and hopefully no more bad news comes for any of these players, man, for any activities they got going on outside of. But now it's time to jump into the top 10 safeties going into the 23 season. You know what I mean? The 2023 season, it's time to jump into these guys. Willie Jack, I know you've been doing your homework. I know you've been jumping into it and talking about some guys. And of course, I'm right behind you, man. I'll be right there with you. Now, again, as I say before, each time we start these, man, this is about a little bit about the what they've done in the past, but this is a projection as well. You know what I mean? Who are going to be the top safeties going into the 2023 season? We are projecting this. This is what we're trying to see. And Willie Jack, for me to kind of put I'm gonna jump into mine first. By the way, I'm gonna jump into my number 10. But before I jump into my number 10, I'll say this: when it came to the safety position, man, first and foremost, this is one of the most dynamic positions in the NFL that you can play. Okay, you on one given play, you can be covering a deep half of the field or a deep middle of the field. The next play, you can be in the box taking on a 300-pound tackle coming your way. You know what I mean? On the next play, you have to guard one-on-one one of the best athletes on the field and the wide receiver. You know what I'm saying? So you have to be able to do so many things when it comes to this safety position and have to do them at a high level in order to truly be, successful. Now, in certain schemes, you're not required to do certain things as much, but, all in all, those are a lot of the things that I looked at when it came to the safety position and how I kind of came up with my list and use, a few other things in terms of my projections moving forward. So first and foremost, I'm gonna start this off with my number 10, man. And I don't know if this guy is on your list, man. He's a questionable guy. I think he can go anywhere from 1, anywhere down to 15 or 20, or even off the list, depending on just how things pan out. And my first,
bro, you said 1, man. Hold on, man. Who? Yeah, go ahead. Let me hear this is.
And my guy I'm putting on this list is Jamal Adams. Okay, Jamal.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So, and the reason why I said that, why the range is so much, is because he had a tough injury last year, man. He played 1 game last year, and he didn't even finish the game with a torn quad. That's a very significant injury if a lot of people don't know that.
Oh, for sure.
And it takes a lot to come back from that. Still going through everything that he's going through in terms of like the rehab process and everything. But I'll say this: if he comes back fully healthy and he is effective as he was when he first stepped on the field with Seattle, we talking about a top 3 or 4 safety in the league off the rip, in my opinion. You know what I'm saying? The what he brings to the table in terms of his intensity, his in the box play, for sure. That's the thing that stands out more than anything. You see him constantly making plays at or behind the line of scrimmage. Getting in the faces of tight ends and getting off blocks easy, making plays behind the backfield, getting behind the lineman to get sacks. You know what I'm saying? Getting past those linemen to get sacks. When it comes to at the line of scrimmage, I don't know, when healthy, if there is a better safety to do it the way he does. Now, because he's so good at that too, I think he gets a little bit of a bad rep when it comes to his coverage skills or his ability to read zones and be in the right place at the right time. You know what I'm saying? But I think he does a very solid job of that. I don't think he's the type of player that gets beat a lot, you know what I'm saying, in coverage. I think he's not a liability. I think you can trust him, but he's just so good and really a dangerous player at the line of scrimmage that's where you want him at. He's a game wrecker, and that's what he was when he started with this Seattle defense the first year he stepped over. So mine's definitely a projection here because I'm hoping he comes back healthy, and if he does, you know what I'm saying, watch out. So give me Jamal Adams at this number 10 spot to start my list off, man.
And no, that's not a bad pick at all, man. And I didn't end up putting Jamal Adams on my list, but he was in that serious contention for 10 for me. And just like you said, he is a guy that healthy and at his best, he's a guy that hovered somewhere around top 3 at the position. And I think his only full season he played with Seattle, I think he led the teams in sacks. He led the team in sacks as a safety. He had like 10 and a half sacks. And I think that was his first year coming over. And then I think he was injured and missed significant time those next 2 years, if I'm not mistaken. I know last year he missed all year. And I think the year before that, he was pretty nicked and banged up. And maybe he played half a season's worth of games, if that. I don't even know if he made it that far along. So he's definitely been bitten by the injury bug. But no, man, I think he's a guy kind of.
And to add to that, Willie Jack,
yeah.
9.5 sacks. It was 9.5 sacks, but in 12 games.
Okay, 9.5
sacks in 12 games. That's crazy for a safety.
Come on, man. You know what I mean? And so, yeah, exactly. And then now the only thing about that is I think I'm not going to go as far as to say he's a full-fledged liability in coverage because I don't feel that way. But I think he can be taken advantage of in coverage. So there's specific things that he can do. But yeah, no, you said he's a guy, you want him in that box. You want him floating around the line of scrimmage. You want him blitzing backside, chasing your quarterback down, as evident by 9.5 sacks in 12 games. You know what I'm saying? You also want him being an enforcer in the run game. And so for all those reasons, man, I agree with what you're saying as well. And he was also, man, he was probably one of my very favorite players coming out of college, but he was coming out of LSU. Like he was still probably him, Derwin, Minka, like those 3 guys, like when they were like those 3 guys coming out were probably some of the like highest graded safeties of the last 20 years, like entering in the NFL. And none of those guys more so than probably Jamal Adams, because Derwin dealt with injury in college. Minka kind of split time between safety and corner. And so Jamal Adams was really kind of a prototype box guy in his own right coming out. But yeah, no, he just missed my list, man. And it's because of what you said. He hasn't been healthy in 2 years. I'm hoping that he does come back full-fledged and healthy this year, and that he still he returns to the player that he was. But I'm not gonna lie, man. I got a young guy on my list, man, that I really want to show some love, man. And so I end up giving that guy my 10 spot, like I said, while I wait to see if Jamal Adams is going to bounce back or not. But if this list went to 15, he probably was going to be somewhere around 12, 13, or somewhere in that top 12, 13 area for sure. But missed my list as well.
We'll talk about the young guy you got at 10.
Oh, yeah, there we go. Hey, man, without further ado, and now I don't know if you remember this. This player, man, for the Chicago Bears, he was the first pick of the Chicago Bears in this last draft in the top of the 2nd round. Chop hated this pick. Chop was banging the table. Get Justin Fields a weapon. Surround Justin Fields with talent. And they go and get safety from Penn State, Jaquan Brisker. Jaquan Brisker, I was a big fan of him coming in as well. I don't know if he was not my number 1 safety, but I know he was definitely in my top 5. I would hope. I think he was somewhere closer to my top 3. But I think this guy's going to take a huge step forward this year. He's got great size. He's like 6. I don't know how big he's listed 6', 6'1". I feel like he looks huge. I feel like he looks like a guy that's 6'2". I think he's a good 210, 215 pounds, or maybe he just looks like long and lanky and big. He had one of the more impressive interceptions this year. He went up and one hand came down with a very impressive interception, covering. I don't know if it was a deep third or a deep middle, but no, he's a guy that I really have high hopes for this guy. He's a guy I wanted to put him. I really think that he's going to be a guy that really announces himself with authority this year. And I like all the additions they've made to that defense, because it's so much harder for those guys on the back end to really play to their full potential if the front 7 is just so weak. You know what I mean? So if you're not getting any style of pressure, guys are sitting back there. So with all the additions that Chicago's defense has made, especially in the second level, they still yet to be seen how the rush looks with some of the new faces. But I really like what they've got going on the back end of that young Chicago Bears defense and some of those other moves they've made. And so I'm expecting this guy to make a big jump. What else I was going to I'll leave it there, man. But Jaquan Brisker, if you don't know his name, man, know his name right now, man. Jaquan Brisker, strong safety for the Chicago Bears, man. I think he's gonna have a monster year. I think he's the type of guy he can give me 90 tackles, he can give me 4 interceptions, he can give me 4 forced fumbles. You know what I mean? Like if he's playing special teams, man, he may block a punt. You know what I mean? Like he's a guy that I think can really be a real weapon across all defensive football. So I really am excited to see this guy play this year.
Gotcha. I like that pick, Willie Jack. I like a little projection. I like a little feistiness, man, when it comes there. So I think this is definitely a guy that's talented. You know what I'm saying? Has unique size in that particular defense. Also, he's a 100 tackle guy. You know what I'm saying? So he gonna get you your tackles. He gonna get you the ball, and he gonna make it happen after that. Also, man, he gets behind that line of scrimmage, man. I believe he had like 5 tackles for loss or something like that. You know, and a few sacks too. You know, so he's a guy that also gets out the quarterback. So he does that. I think for me, I didn't think he had the style of impact on the game the same way. I feel like a lot of the other guys that have come up on my list will have, you know, which is why he didn't necessarily land on my list. But he's definitely in that mix, though. You know, the same way you mentioned Jamal Adams, I think he's
yeah, and see that's why I want to get him in at 10, man. Because like I said, I might be, you know, half a step early, but I think he's gonna take. That's why I said, man, I think he's gonna take a massive step forward this year.
But really, that's what it's supposed to be. It's a projection, man. That's what I want to hear. I want to hear that.
I had to get the young fellas to love, man. Does that want me to roll in the 9?
Yes, sir.
Okay. 9 is also interesting, man. I went back and forth with like 3 names at 9, and then I ended up settling on an oldie but goodie, man. When I went back and really kind of, you know, look back at some of his advanced analytics and all these things and realize, like, I mean, he's not necessarily mentioned with the top 3 guys in the league anymore as he was for probably the better part of almost a decade across his time in Arizona and then with Kansas City. Really was the biggest impetus on changing the face of that Kansas City Chiefs defense. That Kansas City Chiefs defense literally went from universally regarded as soft before. I mean, man, remember, man, boys was really letting that Chiefs defense have it. And then Tyrann Mathieu comes, you know what I'm saying, gets over there and brings all the attitude, all the aggression, all the spunk, all the feisty, all the nasty, everything you want and need, man, as a guy to be a defensive tone setter and really turned that defensive unit around. And then he went to the Saints, went back home this past year. And I feel like quietly, maybe because the Saints were going through so many other struggles on offense, but still had a very, very productive year. Like, especially when I still go back and look at it, I think he finished with the highest coverage grade among safeties per PFF. You know what I'm saying? When I went back and kind of just looked at, and like I said, looked at some of those advanced analytics, and so still playing very high level ball, even though I think it probably is safe to say, I mean, he's lost a step from the guy he was, let's say, 3 years ago. You know what I mean? But still super effective. Still, like I said, man, tone setter, great attitude guy. Just a great kind of guy that's the kind of guy I would love to play with on the defense. You know what I mean? Like aggressive, buck, man. Like, hey, man, I'm looking for all the smoke. We ain't dodging nothing. Like, man, come, yeah. So I want all that in a guy I want to play with on defense. And Tyrann Mathieu gives me all that and more. And he's a playmaker. He's got a history of turning over the ball, making plays on the ball, and just a guy that always just seems to be in the right place in the right time when a loose ball or a tip ball is in the air. And so I went with Tyrann Mathieu, man. Like I said, it feels like a little oldie but goodie, man. But he's still playing damn good ball down there in New Orleans.
So he definitely is. Go ahead, what we got?
I was gonna say, man, I don't recognize his name, man. Duck House Studios in the building, man. He said great points on Brisket. Hey, man, hey, I appreciate you, big dog. You know what I'm saying? Somebody know what's going on. Jaquan Brisket's gonna have a monster year this, bro. I think he's gonna have a massive year this year. Like, just like my dog Chop said, man, he's gonna be somewhere around 100 tackles. He's gonna give me 3-4 interceptions. I think he's gonna fill the stat sheet, man, for a more competitive Bears team than we're probably thinking.
Gotcha. But in terms of the Honey Badger, man, I'm with you on him. He did have a really solid season, man. But this goes to show you, and this is why it's important that we have what we have with Jack, and we really let the film speak. Because when a team starts losing or a team is less successful, they don't get the exact players on the team don't get what they need to get. They don't get the recognition that they should get or deserve to get because of the teams they're on, or because their teams are not successful, or whatever the case may be. So I think that was the case with Tyrann Mathieu this year. Tyrann Mathieu played some damn good ball. You know what I mean? Right. Now, with that being said, I'm doing a little bit of projection, so I don't have him on here. But if you ask me, was he a top 10 safety in 2022? You're damn right. He was a top 10 safety. You know what I'm saying? Which he's another guy that's in that mix. Didn't make my list, but I'm doing some projections, man. I'm doing some switching it up, and you know I like to get feisty.
No, for sure. And I'm not gonna lie, man.
I don't do the same.
No, and I feel you on that, man. That's why I got to look and I was like, man, because I like I said I went through like probably 3 names at this 9 spot, and I was like, man, I'm gonna really leave Honey Badger off that year. He's still younger than I thought he was. I think last year he was 30 last year. It feels like he's been in the league for so long. I thought he was closer to like our age. Like, nah, he was 30 last year, still young, still got good ball. Marshawn Lattimore's coming back. Hey, I'm telling you, man, I think it's gonna be Honey Badger's gonna give us.
Trying to put my Don't get nobody no hints of what.
Hey,
don't get nobody no hints of how old we are. They don't need that out here, man.
Hey, that's a fact. Hey, the Duck House, man, he said, what's up, man? He said, hey, Chop, it's him, it's Keon, man. So, hey, yeah, shout out to your dog, man. Keon, what's going on, man?
That's my dog, man. Man, Keon, what's going on with you, my dog? Hey, he came up there and helped the coach out of the CMU a little bit, man. So he already, never mind, he know our age. He already know.
He already know what's going on, yeah.
He was coaching a little bit, man. BBs, man. Yeah, so he know what's going on. But hey, man, yeah. I'm gonna go ahead and move on to my number 9 guy, Willie Jack, man. And my number 9 guy is going to be Antoine Winfield. All right. Now, don't get me wrong. I do know that Antoine Winfield slowed down a little bit last year. He did. But at the same time, I think he's also one of those guys that, one, their team didn't play very well. But I'll say this about Antoine Winfield's game. He's one of those guys that doesn't necessarily have a weakness, a true weakness. I'm talking about in terms of covering on the backfield. I mean, covering that in the back of their defense in terms of stepping up, coming up and make tackles. Even for his small stature, being a smaller guy, under 6 foot, you know, he still will gonna come in there and stick his nose. He's one of the more sure tacklers when it comes to safeties in the NFL. You know what I'm saying? And I think he'll continue to bring that. But moving forward, he's still young. He showed us his rookie year that he was fully capable of coming in and playing with the big boys. You know what I'm saying? He has the blood of his father for sure. His father was a short, small guy. You know what I'm saying? A cornerback over in, he played in a couple places, but in Minnesota but he definitely was sticking his nose and everything. You know what I'm saying? His father played corner. He wasn't even a safety, but he hit like a safety.
No,
that's what
Big Antoine was bringing wood now, boy. Hey, Big Antoine was laying wood for sure. Yeah.
For sure. So Antoine Winfield, man, definitely did his thing when it came to playing, and his son brings nothing short. He brings everything that he has on each and every play. He's not a player who's like top tier at any given thing, but he's for sure B pluses at everything else. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, has no weaknesses in our game. I trust him as a guy, a coach's player. It's one of those guys where it doesn't matter where you put him. You can put him on special teams, and you can put him anywhere on that special teams kickoff. You can put him anywhere on that punt return, on that punt. You know, and you can trust him to do his job. That's the type of guy that he is. You know what I'm saying? With a little bit of flair, a little bit of that swag. You know what I'm saying? And he just, hey man, he brings everything that he has each and every play. You know, so that's why I went Antoine Winfield at my number 9 spot.
Now, and you know what? That's a good selection, bro. And so I'm glad you did that because Antoine Winfield was my number 8 guy. And so so you didn't do bad there. That was a good choice, man. But no, I think I agree with most everything you said, man. I think he was my number 1 safety coming in that year. I think he came in with Xavier McKinney from Alabama, went to the Giants. It was a good safety class that year. I think he was my top guy that year. But no, I really like his game as well. Now, one thing I would say, I do think I know you say he doesn't have much elite, but no, I think he's probably one of the best tacklers across the position, bar none. I mean, he's a very secure tackler. And like I said, undersized guy, but yeah, man, like I said, man, ain't scared to put his nose in there. The one thing that always gets to me is Todd Bowles in that playoff game against your Rams going 0 blitz and putting Antoine Winfield 1-on-1 with Cooper Kupp in the down slot for the easiest touchdown of Cooper Kupp's playoff career. Like that was just bad coaching, man. I hate that had to be on Winfield. I hate it. Was
it on Winfield though? I thought it was another guy. Was it on Winfield?
That was Winfield. Yeah, man. He went 0 blitz, man. Rolled Winfield down, and Winfield was on trying to bump Cooper Kupp in the slot on like a 3rd and 18 from like midfield, and I want to say Cooper Kupp score like a 40-yard seam touchdown. I mean, you know what I'm saying? Like that's just, but I'm putting that on Todd Bowles. Todd Bowles is an experienced defensive coach. He got no better than that. That was just bad coaching. That was terrible coaching, Todd Bowles. That call right there, Todd Bowles, is why I wanted Byron Leftwich to get that damn job, boy. I can't believe you hung Winfield out to dry like that. But yeah,
well, if it was him, he left him hanging because that was the best receiver in the league that year. That was 1900.
Hey, that year, man, exactly. That was 1900-yard Cooper Kupp. Yeah, come on, man. What are we doing? Yeah.
Hey, that was tripping. Yeah. All right, well, let me go and jump into my number 8, Willie Jack. And then since you did 8-2, I'm going to do 8-7, and then you come back with 7.
Go ahead with it, yeah.
All right. And my next guy on the list, man, I'm going with Jordan Poyer, man. Jordan Poyer, safety for the Buffalo Bills. A very, very valuable piece when it comes to the strong Bills defense. You know, the defense has been strong over the last few years, man. He plays a huge role in that. Him, Micah Hyde, Tre'Davious White, you know, a lot of other guys you can kind of name, you know what I'm saying? But that defense being as consistent as it has over the last few years, a lot of that has to do with, you know, the play of Jordan Poyer. You know what I'm saying? He showed that even without Hyde along his side, he can still be a difference maker. You know, and that was one of the things that I secretly was watching. It's like, okay, Micah Hyde is nice. You know what I'm saying? He's one of the nicest safeties in the league as well. But, okay, Micah Hyde is gone. He's out with a neck injury. What you going to do, Jordan Poyer? You know what I'm saying? Do you need that Batman alongside of you, you know what I'm saying, in order for you to be successful? And he showed that he did, man. And he was one of those guys where if it's a third down, you know what I'm saying, or you trying to score, or you trying to make a big play, going his way is not the answer. You know what I'm saying? True free safety, that was his bread and butter. His bread and butter was keeping everything in front of him, contesting passes, deflecting passes, and being that type of guy that's, all right, I'm not going to let you get this completion. And if you do try to get it, it ain't going to be easy. You know what I'm saying? So Jordan Poyer plays that role for that defense and plays it damn well. And, hey, he's just one of the best when it comes to coverage on the back end when it comes to safeties. You know, he does a really good job. Great instincts as well. And he fights for the ball, even if the ball goes into the receiver hands. It's numerous plays where receivers are catching the ball, and Jordan Poyer finds a way to get his hands in there and get that ball out of there, man. That's the type of safety you also want. You know, it's a guy that never gives up, who gives you everything he got in terms of his heart. You know, and it's just a play is never over when he's on the field. I don't care if you sprinting up the sideline and you going 40 yards and it looks like you're going into the end zone. If I got a chance to catch you, I'm going to try to catch you, and I might try to get that ball out to turn this big play into a turnover. You know what I'm saying? So that's the type of player that he is, the type of player you love to have on your team. So, yeah, I got Jordan Poyer at my number 7. My number 8.
I took a look at – I took a look at Poyer as well, and I ended up leaving him off because, just like you said, I think he's clearly the second best between that pair, between him and Hyde. I just think Hyde is so much more dynamic, and I agree with you though that with Hyde missing, he missed like 15. He only played like 1 or 2, like 2 games last year, I want to say. So he was, Chop, I lost you.
Oh, my bad. I pushed him.
Oh, no, okay.
He didn't play very many games at all. Not this time. With
I was like, oh, man, not already. But, yeah, man. But no, I did take a look at Poyer. But then it was kind of like you said, man, I think he's definitively the second best safety in that group. And so, and I don't think he has the same dynamicism that Hyde has, just the flexibility in the way he can play a little more. I think he can do more with Hyde. And while I think he did play very well without Hyde being there, so he did show himself well, like you said. But I think just one for one, I just don't think he's as dynamic on the other guys I end up putting on my list. But very solid player. He's a guy. If he's on your team, you won't complain. I mean, like I said, because he's going to be a guy just like you said. He's very smart. He's very composed. Is how I feel. Plays within the structure. Plays within himself. He's on time. He's going to do the things. He's going to do what you expect him to do. Do what you want him to do. You know what I'm saying? Now he may not give me something extra or go off script and, you know what I mean, and make a play that maybe you don't expect him to make, but everybody can't do that. Everybody can't be Troy Polamalu. You know what I mean? So there's nothing wrong with that. But just for those reasons, I didn't have him on this 10, but still very solid player for sure. And then actually, man, homeboy Keon is back in the building, man. He said Poyer is solid at both man and zone. He think he would sell this year, and then respects that pick, Chop. And so like I said, man, it's not a bad pick at all. Yeah, definitely not a bad pick at all, man. Can't hate on.
All right. Well, let me move on to my number 7 guy, Willie Jack, and I think this guy is one of your favorites, man.
Oh, who you got?
He may be a little bit higher on your list. You know, he's a little bit further down on my list. for some of my reasons. But
Man, don't
I'm
be
gonna go.
disrespectful, man. Who is this?
Nah, this ain't disrespectful. This ain't disrespectful at all. Not to me, it ain't. I'm going Buda Baker, man.
Okay, Buda Baker. Yeah, I like. Hey,
Buda
Buda
Baker.
nice. Man, I hate that he's still
Yeah.
playing for the Cardinals, dog. We need Buda on a competitive, man. Yeah, I feel you.
So here's the thing, man. I played a psychological game with myself because of that reason, Willie Jack. Because he plays for the Cardinals. You know what I'm saying? How much can you give each and every game, knowing you might not win one of them? You know what I'm saying?
Hey,
So that was part of it.
hey,
But
Chop, don't act like that, boy. You know you played the CMU for a little bit, man. Hey,
hey, man, we weren't losing every game. Nah, dog. We were. Hey, hey,
nah, not at all, not at all, not at all.
I
Hey,
like that.
hey, man. Hey, you know it was a couple of those weeks, man.
It was
Like
rough.
it's been a
No,
long
it was
week,
it was
man.
rough, man. It
It's
was rough.
been a long
You
week,
know what I'm
man.
saying? But
Yeah,
hey,
yeah,
yeah,
man.
I've been a part of some rough stuff, man. Some rough
Yeah,
stuff.
for
You know what
sure.
I'm saying? But anyway, man, back to Buda Baker. Okay,
Yeah.
back to Buda Baker. So Buda Baker, man, when he's on, he's one of those safeties. When he's on, man, he's amongst the top guys at his position. You know what I'm saying? In the league, you know, bar none. And even with his stature, you know what I'm saying? Buda Baker is a smaller guy. He's a small guy, but you can't tell when them pads are on, when the lights are on, when they're on the field, and it's time to get to it. You can't tell. He plays fast. He gets to the ball. He's a playmaker, and he's a strong safety. By the way, Buda Baker is probably like, what would you say, Willie Jack? Maybe
Man,
5'9",
5'8", 185. Yeah.
185. You know what I mean? And he plays strong safety like I'm 6'3", 225. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's the way that he plays it. Um, he's very deceptive on defense. Like you never, it's almost like you see guys stem, right? They stem before the play and
Mm-hmm.
they show different coverages and flash different things. When I watch Buda Baker on the field, you never know what he's gonna do. I seen him line up on the left side of a defense and end up blitzing on the right side off the edge. You know, those are the type of things that Buda Baker would do before play to help confuse the offense and not know what's really going on. Quarterback may be seeing one coverage and the whole time something else is coming. You know, because of what Buda Baker is doing, because what he's showing, and because of his smarts, the way he studies film, he knows a lot of times, you know, what the offense is planning on doing, what they're trying to do. You know, and he just plays fast too. He goes. That's the one thing I think that makes him a little better too, because he knows how to use his size as leverage, you know, and how to create those angles so that he defeats those blocks that when you look at him on replay, it's like, man, how did he miss that block? Or how didn't he block him? Like he should have been able to do that. But because Buda Baker is so good and he knows how to defeat those, he just blows right past him, man. And the
Yeah.
crazy part is he ranks third. He ranked third last year among strong safety and tackles for at the line of scrimmage or for loss. So this lets you know this guy's getting it done at the line of scrimmage with the best of them. You know what I'm saying? So Buda Baker, man, for everything it's worth, when he's on, he's on. I couldn't leave him off this list, no matter what was going on with the team or around him. Buda Baker is one of the best when he's doing this thing, man, and that's why I got him on my list, ranked at my number 7 spot.
And you know what? You hit the nail right on the head, dog. Because I also got Buda Baker at 7. And dog, when I tell you, man, I was like, man, there's not 6 guys better than Buda Baker. And you know what's another thing about Buda Baker, bro?
Yeah,
I was like, it's hard to me for me to really say there's like 6 better safeties. And then especially like when I was doing this list, so you know, I want to look at the advanced analytics and see what see what some of the people are saying. And I didn't even like realize this or it just I wasn't thinking about it, but he's been in the league 6 years. He's been to 5 Pro Bowls. He's been All Pro 4 times. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah,
like, dude is a stud, a stud.
yeah.
And I hate that the only highlight my dog gets is getting hawked down by DK Metcalf. Man, come on, man. What do you have to do with my dog like that? You know what I mean? Like, man, that's the only highlight Buddha get, man. Is getting hawked by DK, man. But no, man, just like you said, bro. I love his game. I just like those type of players. I like big men and little men bodies. Because those are the guys that's running through walls. Those are the guys that's running head first at trains. You know what I'm saying? Because they've always had to compensate. That's why I like Tyrann Mathieu's game so much. He's another guy. He's a big guy in a little man's body. Buda Baker is 6'3", 220 and a 5'8", 185-pound body. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
So,
Absolutely.
yeah. And just like you said, man, the reason he's able to make a lot of those plays is because like when he sees it, he goes, man, he triggers. He doesn't wait, man. He shoots his gun, man, and man, I see it. I go right now. You know what I mean? Because and when he gets there, man, he come with a little pop to him as well. Like I said, makes plays on balls and you know what I'm saying, everything else that I like enjoying for the game, man. But just like you said, man, looking at this in the grand scheme, that team is probably gonna have the number one pick in this upcoming draft. And then, like you said, man, I don't know how the year is going to play out. He still should be valuable trade bait as well. And so I know there was talks about him being traded in this offseason. It didn't happen. Doesn't mean that he can't be traded by week 6 or whatever the trade deadline is as well. So he's still an asset for them. And so I don't know how that's going to play out as far as his season. You know what I'm saying? But no, man, I definitely like his game a lot as well. So I also had to put my dog at 7, man. Does that roll me to 6?
Yep, that rolls you to 6, my dog.
Now this rolls me to 6. Now this is the one that really, because I had Buddha anywhere from 5, 6, 7, and I ended up going with 7. And then I've got Yo Boy. I've got Yo Boy at 6. Justin Simmons, safety from the Denver Broncos. So I got your boy at 6.
That is my dog. That's my dog.
Chop is a big Justin Simmons guy. He is, and so I give him his credit, man. So he's a big Justin Simmons guy. I got him at 6, and he's a guy when he's on, he's a guy that's consistently a top 3, top 4 guy at the position. And then like I said, I think last year was a little up and down. And then I think the year before that, I think he was a little injured or banged up, or maybe last year he was a little banged up and it was a little up and down. But like I said, all told, man, he's coming back this year. And then I know I'm assuming he's gonna be healthy. Assuming he's gonna be motivated. Nobody in Denver has a good taste in their mouth at all. You got Sean Payton coming in to revamp and save the organization. So there's a lot of excitement, a lot of electricity in that building. And so guys like Justin Simmons, guys like Cortland Sutton, those guys that are still young but have kind of been there over these last kind of 3-4 rough years, and now that the team is maybe in position to maybe like take a step on the national stage and maybe put themselves in a greater tier. And so I think this is just like perfect timing for a guy like Justin Simmons to kind of reestablish himself in the conversations with, you know, some of the guys that we're probably going to have around 1, 2, and 3. You know what I mean? But yeah, all told, man, there's not really many holes in his game either, man. He's got good size. He's got good range for his size. Now, I don't think he's as physical as he can be. You know, if that was going to be one of my critiques, and that's probably why I'm not as high on him as you, because I don't want to say he's not timid, but he's also not looking to just, you know what I'm saying, stop a train with his forehead. You know what I'm saying? So, but ain't nothing wrong with that. But like I said, a very, very accomplished player in his own right. I believe he had an all-pro year. Was he all-pro like 2 years ago? He had a very good year. I want to say 2 or 3 years ago. He may have had an all-pro, man. He's still a young guy.
He was close. He had a Pro Bowl year. Not
okay. And then like I said, man, those all-pros.
Well, are you talking about all-pro like first? You talking about first team?
I mean, first or second, either one. I thought he had.
He got 3 second teams. He got 3 second teams. Pros.
Okay, yeah, no, I'm giving. Hey, he's 3-time All-Pro. You know what I'm saying? I'm giving 3 All-Pro.
right.
You know, hey, for sure. Hey, because when the Hall of Fame announcements come out, man, I was a 3-time All-Pro, man. Don't get in my business, man. 3 All-Pro.
Hey, you ain't got to tell me which team I was on. Just know.
Hey, there you go.
Pro.
And I'm not gonna lie, I didn't realize it was that many. And so yeah, but that's all just a testament to the type of player and the style of accomplished player that he is, for sure. Like I say, he's got good size, he's got very good range. I think his physicality leaves a little bit more to be desired for me. His tackling's not always super consistent, but still, man, a rangy guy with that type of size that could get his hand on the ball and take it the other way. Those guys are always valuable, man. So I've got him slotting in at 6. And the reason I got him above Budda Baker because I expect the Broncos to be substantially more competitive. You know what I mean? And so, you know, just like you were saying with Budda, man, just the way that goes, man. You're a good player on a good team, man. That goes a lot further than being a great player on a terrible team. You know what I'm saying? So that's how I settled with him at 6.
Okay, gotcha, man. And we got a few people in the building, Willie.
Oh, I'm glad you reminded me.
Man, go ahead and let me know who stepped into the building, man. Who in there?
Man, hey, man, we got some of them members back in the door, man. I'm gonna shout out my dog Duck House Studios one more time, man. Keon, man, seeing you alone, man. So hey, he knew what I was talking about, man. Some of the weeks, man. Hey, some of the weeks, bro. Hey, it's just a long week of practice, man. We just got to make it through, man. He just got to make it through. Day one game, Jarrell back in the building, man. What's going on, man? Good to see you, my guy. We got our dogs, man, at No Balls, No Glory in the building as well, man. Y'all check them boys out getting busy on YouTube, man. Thursday night is day night, man. Tap in and show love to our dogs, man, at No Balls, No Glory, man. So appreciate y'all boys coming through. Also, while y'all in here, man, getting comfortable, you know what I'm saying? Sit down, do your thing. Drop me some safety names in the comments, man. Keon, man, I know you still in this thing, man. No Balls, No Glory, man. Jarrell, man. Hey, y'all drop me some safeties in this in the chat, man. Give me y'all top 5 or something, man, so I can shout y'all out and see what y'all see if y'all know something.
Yeah, man, we ain't gonna be too harsh on y'all, man. Just give us a top 5, man. We ain't gonna make y'all do 10. Just give us a top 5, man. Let us know what's going on, and we'll talk to you, man. And we also got Sis in the building, man. Sis, what's going on with you? She tapped in. She said,
hey, yeah, gang, what's up?
She here.
Hey, Duck Out Studios, man. Hey, we appreciate that, man. He said, yeah, he's a big fan, man. He's looking to sponsor in the future. Hey, we appreciate you, big dog.
Hey, already,
sure.
already. So let me move on to my number 6, Willie Jack. I'll move on to this number 6, and then we might take a break after that one, man. But when this number 6, I'm gonna go with the other Buffalo Bills safety, and Micah Hyde, man. No, now we talked about him a little bit in terms of what he brings to the table, and how I think we both kind of agreed by my list, obviously, that Micah Hyde.
No, I think most people agree he's the better between him and Poyer. I think most people would agree with that.
Absolutely,
agree with us.
Absolutely, yeah. So Micah Hyde is for sure the better of the two. Definitely dealt with a lot of injuries this past season in terms of the neck injury and missing a lot of the season. But I expect a big bounce back year for him. I expect him to come back and pick up where he left off in terms of his impact on his team. And Micah Hyde is one of those guys where he consistently shows up when it's that time. When the game is on the line, you can almost look for Micah Hyde to show up and make a play. You know what I mean? Now, it ain't always the flashiest play, but I guarantee you it's going to be him that's going to be in it somewhere. Either got his hand on the ball, either recovering the fumble, even maybe tipping the pass for somebody else to get an interception. Micah Hyde usually shows up when the moments are at those times in the game. It's the fourth quarter. It's a minute left. The other team is trying to drive or whatever the case may be. Micah Hyde is that guy. He shows
I agree completely. It feels like when it's 3rd and 8 and the other team's driving, approaching field goal range, he's the guy that gets a PBU. You know what I'm saying? The PBU stops the drive. You know what I'm saying? Absolutely. Keeps them just outside of field goal range. So it's a play that in the grand scheme maybe doesn't get acknowledged or make a play. But like he's the guy that tends to just always kind of make those plays. I'm with you there.
Absolutely. And he's actually one of the more disciplined players or disciplined safeties that you're going to find in this league. You know what I'm saying? You won't catch him out of position. You know what I'm saying? Does a great job of keeping everything in front. And the discipline of his play allows Poyer to be more aggressive. You know what I mean? It's a difference when you can do what you need to do when you got somebody behind you. It reminds me of the talk that I don't know if y'all remember this footage, but Ray Lewis had with Chris McAllister. It was like, listen here, man. You got Eddie behind us. Ed Reed is behind us. You can do this. You can you can do this. You know who behind us. Eddie Reed is behind us. You good. Just trust it. You know what I'm saying? It might seem like the wrong play in that moment, but hey, I'm telling you this. I've been watching this. Me and him watch film together. We sit in the room. I know what he see. I'm telling you it's going to work out in our favor if you just do this one thing. That's the type of player that Micah Hyde is because he just makes everybody else around him better, which is the reason why I said, let me see Jordan Poyer without Micah Hyde. And he showed me that, all right, he can still get the job done. But we know what Micah Hyde brings to the table. So all those things, along with his smarts, his intensity, and just he's a student of the game. All of those things are the reasons why I put him at my number 6 spot. You know what I'm saying? I got him there. Yeah. Some of the other ones I got coming up next, man. We got some. I'm definitely gonna do some projections, but we're gonna jump into those, man. But yeah, I got Micah Hyde at my number 6 spot, Willie Jack.
No, and I can't be mad at that at all. And then I had Micah Hyde. I'm not gonna lie, bro. I had Micah Hyde as high as 4, and then somehow or another, bro, he didn't even make this final draft of my 10. And the reason why is because because he's coming off of such a strong injury. You know what I'm saying? Like, he's coming off such a big injury, and then also, like I said, I wanted to make room for another young guy that I think is really going to step up. And so the spot that probably was going to be his, I end up giving to this who's going to be my next guy when it's my turn to go again. But no, I let that be the excuse, man, so that I could try to get a couple younger guys in this list. I wanted Brisker in this list, man. I wanted this other young guy in the list as well, and so he was one of those guys with the big injury and coming back from that. And then also, man, that Bills team is as talented as they are. They still feel like I'm worried about that Bills team this year. You know what I mean? Just with everything going on, like it's not an issue of talent at all. But I don't know externally. It feels like, especially on the offensive side of the ball, I guess. But I don't know, man. It just feels like maybe not everybody's on the same page. There's a little you know.
It's funny you saying this because I'm hearing a lot. You know, I listen to different football podcasts and all that type of stuff. I'm starting to hear more and more people say, man, is it Sean McDermott? Especially after Brian Daboll left and took his talents over to New York, is Sean McDermott the thing? It's like, all right, man, we're getting tired of seeing y'all go to the playoffs each and every year. You know what I'm saying? To not make a title game. You know what I mean? To not even compete to that. Like y'all gotta, with the talent y'all have, y'all should have been made it there. Now, granted, they got
one of those years was the Chiefs back and forth 13-second game. So I don't even want to hold that one on. I mean, that was Magic Mahomes going crazy in 13 seconds. But yeah, that last year, you can't lose like that at the crib in the snow. It was supposed to play to your advantage. You know what I mean? You can't lose like that the way they did last year to the
neither one of them. You can't lose either one of them. You can't lose you can't lose with 13 seconds on the clock and the team got to go.
I mean, that's Magic Mahomes, man. That's Magic Mahomes on the road in Kansas City. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
what is that?
Yeah, man.
I don't care who you are. You are not supposed to allow a team to get in field goal range with 13 seconds on the clock, Willie Jack. I don't care if you Joe Montana, Tom Brady. You are not supposed to. Like, I get it. It's Patrick Mahomes. Patrick Mahomes is really great. But with 13 seconds on the clock, I don't care who's behind center. That's supposed to be done. But what did me and you both say? Hey, they sitting here playing prevent coverage, giving up 13-yard receptions, quick 13-yard reception, 14, 15, and the timeouts. Like, all right, what we doing here, y'all? Like, 13 seconds can become a longer time.
You lose Travis Kelce on like a 30-yard seam play, you know what I mean? Or a 30-yard catch and run, you know what I mean? Like, yeah, man. So yeah, but no, I've seen that as well, man, because those talks came out about McDermott because they just announced that he got extended. And so people were saying, like, well, why is he getting extended, man? He hasn't been the guy to get over the hump. And if anything, the team looks like it regressed this last year from 2 years ago. And so I saw those kind of same reports as well. But, I mean, I don't necessarily – I like McDermott. I like McDermott when he was the defensive coordinator. I know he came up under was it Jim Johnson with the Eagles? I want to say he came up under him before he went to Carolina with Ron Rivera at the DC and then got his head coach gig in Buffalo. So I've been a fan of him as a defensive coordinator, just a defensive guy, for a while now. But I don't necessarily want to say it's him. I do think that Ken Dorsey's got to show us something at OC. Ken Dorsey just looks like a guy that Brian Daboll left. He just walked in the room, picked up Brian Daboll's notebook, and just tried to make it work. You know what I mean?
Call from it. Just like, you know what? Let's try.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? And so I think Ken Dorsey is more of an issue for that offense, or the stagnation or regression of that offense, more so than it is, I think, for Sean McDermott as the overall head guy.
I got you.
But yeah. Oh, and then I know you said we was gonna go hit the break real quick. Yeah. So shout out to our dog, man. No Falls, No Glory in the building, man. We got 5, man. Let's see how he did. Number 1, Derwin. Hold on. Hold on. I can tell you right now that you're tripping. And you my dog. So I'm gonna keep it real with you. You tripping. But we'll get to that. Number 1, Derwin James. That's cool. 7 games a season. He's probably pretty legit. Buda Baker, number 2. Hey, I appreciate the respect of Buda Baker, bro. I appreciate that. Jalen Petrie is very interested. He's another young guy that, man, I liked him coming out of Baylor. I want to say he was a rookie with the Texans last year, and I thought he was nice coming out of Baylor. He was better than I anticipated as a rookie for the Texans. He balled. He really did. And he's a guy that he's one of those guys where I'm looking for him this year to see if he builds on what he did last year, because he was very impressive last year for sure. Him and Javon Holland both. Because Javon Holland is another guy who same in that same lane with Jalen Petrie, man. I want to see how he does this year. He had a little bit of a down year last year, but I want to see how he bounces back. But I like that Jalen Petrie love right there. Rayshawn Jenkins, man, for the Jaguars, I want to say he's with the Jaguars these last few years. He's a bigger box safety guy. I don't know if I've ever seen any. I haven't seen him listed in the top 5 on the safety list anywhere. So I definitely appreciate that love as well, man. Going like outside of the chalk kind of guys. So I appreciate what you're doing there. And then number 5, Eddie Jackson. Eddie Jackson is interesting. He came out of Alabama. I think he was undrafted.
I love some Eddie Jackson. I ain't gonna lie to you, dog.
I like Eddie Jackson as well. He's a ball hawk. He's definitely a ball hawk. Now that's the thing about it though. His game is pretty one dimensional. You know what I mean? Because I think he's not a strong tackler. He's not strong in run support. I mean, and honestly, he's not necessarily strong in like underneath zone coverage as well. He's a guy that he needs to be on the back end. He needs to be roaming, and he's a guy that needs, you know what I'm saying, that needs to have the space and opportunity to get his eyes on the ball, break and make a play. But he's an excellent ball hawk. But no, man, I respect that list, man. That's I definitely respect that list, man, especially like with a lot of these names that are uncommon names that you don't generally hear too much. And then he's got honorable mention. I knew he was gonna do it to me. Chop, man. Chop boy for the Niners.
Talanoa Hufanga and C.J. Gardner-Johnson Jr., man.
It is C.J. Gardner-Johnson as his honorable mentions, man. So, interesting list, man. Now, bro, you got to tell me no love for a guy. You know what I mean? Where's black and gold?
Hey, don't even worry about all that, Willie Jack. Don't worry about it.
He ain't even make the honorable mention. He ain't even in the top 7. The top 7, bro. I don't know, man. Hey, not in the top 7. But not. Hey, like I said, man, I respect it, man. I respect it. Oh, and then he backed up that Jalen Petrie pick. He's gonna have a big season with DeMeco Ryans as coach. I love that pick because we saw what
I like that Willie Jack.
Yeah, because now if he can be used in the way that we just seen Tyler, man, come on, help me out.
Talanoa Hufanga.
The way we seen him operate and function and excel in that DeMeco Ryans version of that Niners defense, and now he's bringing that here. I think Jalen Petrie is definitely the guy that's going to step into that role or be asked to do those things if he can. And so, something, man, that he's due to have a big season or another impressive season. And so, yeah, he's definitely a guy on my watch list as well. Yeah, man, you know I'm talking about, Minka, dog. He ain't even in the top 7. C.J. Gardner-Johnson off a half a season with 6 picks. Man, come on, man. Come on, man. Golly, man. But hey, man, I respect it though. You know, I respect it.
Well, B, man, we appreciate you being in here, man, and giving us your top 5, man. I want to see some other people's top 5. Let's see everybody, man. Everybody put your top 5s in here, man. I want to see what's going on. If you can't give me 5, give me 3. You know what I'm saying? If you can't give me 3, give me 2.
Drop a couple names. Yeah, drop a couple names.
Throw a name out there. A guy you like, man. Maybe a guy we ain't talked about yet. Throw a name out there, man. We want to see. You know what I mean? But now, Willie Jack, we both did our top 6, man. But before we jump into this top 5, man, we're going to take a little bit of a break, man. And we're going to let y'all hit these 3 amigos, man. When we come back, man, we're going to hit y'all with the top 5, man. We got the top 5 on the way around the corner. Holla at you boys.
Hey, we be right back. This episode of Let the Film Speak, hosted by the wonderfully handsome and intelligent brothers of Let the Film Speak. That's Chop and your main man, Willie Jack. Yeah, feel me. Also brought to you by the 3 amigos. Y'all know them and you love them, man. That's the 3 amigos. That's like, that's share, that's subscribe. That's 3 the hard way. That's a 3-piece spicy. You cannot go wrong. Now, I say the same thing every week, so y'all can say that at home with me. I know y'all ready for it. Here we go. It's 3 amigos, but it's 4 parts to this process, big dog. First, you just got to tap in. Like my dog said, man, come in, tap in. Just say what's up, man. Just holler. Hey, what's up, 3 amigos, man? Like, share, subscribe. Hey, Chop, man. Willie, man, what's going on, man? It's cool. I sit on the couch. For sure. Y'all got some cold to drink? Oh, man, my man. Yeah. Oh, yeah. By the way, man, I'm a Broncos fan. That's all you got to do. That's it. That's easy. And Chop, come in, sit down, get comfortable, get a cool adult beverage, and let us know who you ride with, big dog. Then tell a friend. Like, man, that's a nice feeling here, ain't it? Man, it's cool, man. My homeboy was out. He was down. Man, it's cool. I can tell a friend. Tell a friend, man. And you know what? Even better than that, you can tell your friend to tell a friend. Guess what? There's more. You can tell your friend's friend to bring his partner too. Bring one more because we need 4, man. Bring them up into the penthouse. Tap in with your dogs, man. Wednesdays at 7 o'clock. You know we don't wear no watches. We ain't got nowhere else to be but in here kicking football flavor with the fam. And now back to the regularly scheduled program.
All right. Hey, man, I'm going to give an extra shout out to BP, man, because BP, he did it. He did it right then and there. I seen it, man. I just got the notification. He liked, he shared, he subscribed.
Hey,
he sent it to
appreciate our dog, man. BP in the building, man. As no boss, no glory, man. Check those boys out Thursdays on YouTube, getting real busy.
Already, man. But let's go ahead and jump into my number 5, Willie Jack, and then you come back with your 5-4 after that.
Sure.
But speaking of Talanoa, I'm gonna go with my boy Hufanga. You know what I mean? Talanoa Hufanga, man. My number 5 safety going into the 2023 season, man. One of my favorite guys off the bat. First and foremost, you know, when they told me the guy was working with a Hall of Famer in Troy Polamalu, man, and trying to take after him and trying to learn as much as possible, that spoke to me because it let me know, hey, man, I'm trying to be great. I'm trying to be one of the best to ever do this. I saw you do this, and I'm trying to learn anything that you got to teach me in order for me to become, the best safety that I can be. And it showed. In his second season, he only had, well, first off, in his first season, he only started 3 games. In his second season, he started all 17, man, and the guy came in balling. You know what I'm saying? You can tell a little bit of part of his game came from a Troy Polamalu, man. He plays fast. He plays on fire. You know what I'm saying? He is another one of those guys, always around the ball. You know what I mean? And he's not, it's crazy because he's an in-the-box guy, but he's not necessarily a liability when it comes to coverage. And if you throw it in his way, if he's in the territory, he might pick it off. You know what I'm saying? There's a good chance. And if not, he's going to be there and you're going to feel him. You know what I'm saying? You're going to feel him when he get there. A good physical, strong safety, with good anticipation. Sometimes he'll gamble a little bit too much. Now, that's what I have seen in his game when I watch the film. He'll gamble a little bit too much at times, which will put him in bad position. But he has the good help of that defense. And I also think a lot of that is going to come with learning more about the position, learning how to play it, developing that discipline, all the different things you need to do as a safety in order to be successful. Once he puts his anticipation and his instincts together with the discipline part of it and just understanding of the game, I think we're talking about a guy that's for sure can live in this top 5 in terms of safeties, man, and continue to make an impact, day in and day out. Also, another one of those safeties that gets after the quarterback too. You know what I'm saying? He's going to continue to do that. So, man, all around a great overall safety, man. He's going to be in the play more times than not. And he's just a game wrecker. He can be a game wrecker. Now, granted, he plays alongside a lot of talent, which helps him be better. But, man, I think this guy can be a real star in this league for years to come. So, Talanoa Hufanga, man, that's my number 5 safety going into the 2023 season.
I'm not going to lie, man. I thought he was going to be higher on your list, man. I know you was a big fan of his, you know what I'm saying? So I really thought that he was going to be quite a bit higher on this list for you, man. Now I'm over here scrambling looking at safety names like, okay. If Tyler who found you is down there at 5, you know what I'm saying? Like who else he who found you? Because you couldn't let me live.
I got you, dog.
Yeah, but no, I ain't gonna lie. I thought he was gonna be a little higher for you, man. And so,
I don't think it'd be too hard for you to figure out the names. I think you can figure them out.
I'm assuming I got at least 3 of them names, but yeah, we'll see, man. But I'm a rock on out, man. My number 5, and this is the spot, like I said, it's a young guy, man. It's a young guy, and I hate to even have to put him this high, but and here's the thing as well about this guy. I'm talking about Kyle Hamilton, safety for the Baltimore Ravens. Came out of Notre Dame. I didn't even like him that much. I thought he was a little overhyped coming out of Notre Dame. And what's crazy, and I'm embarrassed to say this, I really liked the other safety on Notre Dame that year that something, his name started with a D, like DeAndre Washington or something like that. I thought he was going to be the steal of that draft. Ends up going undrafted. I couldn't believe it. I still don't even know what was going on with that. But no, Kyle Hamilton came in. That Ravens secondary was decimated, as we all know, across all secondary positions. And so came in. He played. I want to say he started maybe a handful of games, 8 games or so, but played quite a bit and really played well. And really played to his pedigree and really played to the reputation that he had, I guess, coming in when he was coming in from Notre Dame. Big body guy. I want to say he's like 6'3", like 220. I want to say so. Another one of those guys, man, linebacker body playing safety, moves all around the box. He can cover and stick with your tight end, man. He could put your running back down. And so, but seeing the way he played, as instinctual as he looked, as aggressive as he looked, man, he really was a guy that he just looked damn good, and I just got to give it to him. And so he's another guy that I'm projecting. If that's what he looked like year one, being thrown in the fire, kind of on the spot because of all the injuries around you, and then still being a bright spot on defense, and then him coming in playing well, timing in with the addition of Roquan Smith changed the whole trajectory of that Ravens defense. Like Roquan Smith coming over, you probably heard, so so I was like, y'all know Roquan was one of them ones for a little bit, man, before he finally got somewhere to show his talent.
You have. I give you that, Willie Jack. You
Yeah,
have.
man. So Roquan comes over there and really solidifies that front seven, and then Kyle Hamilton comes in, becomes a fixture in that defense, probably earlier or more prominent role than they probably wanted as a rookie who they wanted to acclimate, and comes in and hits the ground running and plays damn well. And so now coming in, being an established guy, he's going to be on I imagine he plays every single snap of every single game from the opening bell. And so I'm anticipating that he's another guy that's just going to continue on the path that he was on and take a massive step and really catapult himself into this style of top five conversation. And especially because I think for most of us, assuming that team is healthy, they're a team that most of us feel comfortable saying they're always going to be in the mix. You know what I mean? So when December ball is being played, they're a team that we anticipate is going to be in the mix for the division championship and probably for one of the top 3 seeds. It's like I said, if everybody stays healthy. And so, look now here BP is. Now BP want to yell flock game. He leaves my dog Mink off a list. Then I show him some love, put the little purple pigeons on my list in the top 5, and now it's flock game. You see how y'all do me, man? Y'all see how they do me. But I gotta respect it, man. The boy's nice, man. He came in and played very well. And like I said, man, I'm anticipating he takes another big step forward, or if he just continues on the trajectory he's going, man, this is gonna be a guy that really can make some real noises. You're chopping. So wanting to have him on this list, and I wanted to feature him prominently on this list. And so a guy like Micah Hyde, man, I left off with the excuse of the injury. A guy like Jamal Adams as well, the same thing, left him off, man, with the injury. Justin Simmons, I got him above Justin Simmons. Justin Simmons is coming off a major injury. You know what I mean? So I really don't think this is too high for this kid, man. 5'6" for me is really just I couldn't put him any lower based on all the things we've talked about. His level of play, the anticipated success of his team being competitive, and then how that goes as well as far as grading and reacting to his play. And so I think all those are working in his favor, man. And I got the young boy, man, Kyle Hamilton at number 5.
Okay, Willie Jack. And it looked like my dog Keon came in and put
he got one. Okay.
He threw some names in there, man. Some guys that he liked watching, man. He liked to see, you know what I'm saying, this past year, man. So and run some of his names down, Willie Jack.
Yeah, so he's also got Hamilton. Okay, hey, Duck boy, hey man. Hey, you on your stuff today, boy. You on your one too. Yeah, man. So Kyle Hamilton, got some love for him as well. My dog Minka in there. I like that pick of Neal. Is it what's his first name? Not Keanu Neal, because my Steelers signed Keanu Neal in the offseason. This is the guy that filled in for Jamal Adams, and honestly, he balled. And this is what I don't understand, because the Seahawks.
Now you talking about Ryan Neal.
Ryan Neal. There we go. Ryan Neal. Ryan Neal came in and balled. He really did play damn good ball, and I don't know why the Seahawks didn't keep him, because they ended up letting him walk in free agency. I'm trying to think who he signed with. I don't know if it was the Patriots. I was very surprised that the Seahawks did. Who?
Tampa Bay.
Oh, Tampa Bay. Oh, I like that. I love that. I love that for Antoine Winfield. Oh yeah, that's nice. Okay. That's real nice. I liked his game as well. So that's a very good name right there, man. Shout out to Duck House Studios, man. Keon, CMU alum as well, fellow one of those, man, in the building. Appreciate you, big dog. Honey Badger as well, man. Getting some love down there at the Saints. And that's what I'm saying, man. I think we kind of slept on Honey Badger. Honey Badger balled this last year. And then, hey, Odie but goody, Kevin Bayard. Let me tell you about your boy Duck, man. Coming in at number 4 for your dog, Kevin Bayard. You know what I'm saying? So, hey, man, he took me right into my 4, man. So Kevin Bayard for the Titans, for me, is number 4. And he's a guy that I would probably say is probably been the model of consistency for the free safety position for probably it feels like a decade. He's a guy that feels like he's been around for a while as well. And it feels like he was playing damn good ball for Tennessee under the radar for probably like 3-4 years. And then finally he got some notice of recognition. And then when the spotlight got on him, I feel like he just took another step And then I want to say he had a stretch where I want to say he's got 2 All-Pros. I want to say he's got 2 All-Pros, or he made All-Pro 2 All-Pros in the span of 3 years or something like that. But just there's just from the free safety position, just a true to life free safety.
He got 2 of them, Willie Jack.
He got 2. Okay, yeah.
Span, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in a 5-year span.
Okay, 25. Oh, damn! They spaced my dog out, man. Man, he probably needed one.
2017 and 2021. Those were his 2 All-Pro years.
They spaced him out? Okay. Man, no, he played at an All-Pro level. I would probably imagine he played All-Pro in all them years between there. But, you know what I mean? Sometimes, he
played level. Some guys have better seasons. That doesn't mean that you're not having a great season at all.
Man, hey, I'm glad you said that, Chop. I'm glad you said that, bro. Because Trent Williams only got 1 All-Pro, and he just got it. He's got 2 All-Pros. He just got in the last 2 years.
And the boy been a dog for some years.
And the boy been a dog for a dozen years. You know what I'm saying? So I'm glad you said that, man. So, but no, he's a guy for me. Playing free safety, I don't think there's anybody more like fundamentally sound. I love his eyes. I feel like he doesn't get himself in trouble, but I also feel like he doesn't play timid to protect. Like, he doesn't play to protect himself from looking bad or making a mistake. So I still feel like he's out there willing to make plays at the expense of maybe putting himself in a bad position, but it feels like he just never really gets himself out of position. Like, I don't know if that makes sense. I heard myself talking, I sounded crazy, but I really enjoy it. Like, I'm trying to think, like,
I got you, Willie Jack. I got you.
Yeah, he's a guy that can maybe take a risk without playing careless. You know what I'm saying? And so, like, yeah, that's how it is, man. So I really enjoy his game. I really do. And I feel like, man, that he's a guy that kind of slides under the radar a little bit as well, man, for how well he's played for so long. Like I said, man, his first All-Pro was 2017, 7 seasons ago. You know what I'm saying? And so he's been playing good ball for a damn long time. And honestly, man, he's still running and gunning, man. And so I still think that he's a guy that is still one of the better guys in this league for sure, man. So I gave the OG some love, man. Kevin Bayard from the Titans. Yeah, good call for Keon, man. Duck House Studios in the building one more time.
I like that. I like that coming from you, Willie Jack, man. But you already talked about this guy earlier, man. But I'm gonna go and talk about him here, man. This number 4 spot, and this is where I got my guy Justin Simmons.
Okay.
You know he was gonna fall on my list, man.
For sure.
And I feel like this is the year he gets the recognition that he deserves. This is the year he steps into the spotlight as like, okay, man, this guy for real. He is one of the top tier safeties in this league, and I think he's gonna show that, and his team is gonna be, on display, to where a lot of other people can notice the greatness that I see from Justin Simmons, man. Mm-hmm. First off, I think he has a basketball body. Okay. So, like,
that's a good way to put it.
He's not like super tall or anything. I think he's only about 6'2", but when you see him, he looks like a basketball player. He also, in my opinion,
like a combo guard.
Yeah, moves like a basketball player. You know what I mean? In terms of everything. And then even going back to his stats or his combine, the guy has a 40-inch vertical, and he's one of the guys that it shows when he is actually on the field. When you watch a few of the plays, it's some play. One of the best plays he made last year was on an interception. I think it was on Pat Mahomes. Pat Mahomes was probably like, maybe it looked like he was about 5 yards away from Pat Mahomes, but he's probably like 8 or something like that. Pat Mahomes tried to throw a ball over him, not even expecting him to do it. He jumps up out of the air, picks the ball out of the air, using his vertical, quick hands, quick reflexes, great ball skills. You know what I mean?
Does have great ball skills.
And it's secretly one of the safeties you really want to avoid throwing to. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
9 out of 10 times, it won't be a completion if you throw in the Justin Simmons way. Okay. It was one other guy he was tied with for the league in interceptions. Well, actually, not one other guy. It was a few guys. It was like 4 guys tied for the league in interceptions.
You talking about just last year or?
Yeah, just last year. Tariq
Woolen. Him, Minka, and Chauncey Gardner Jr. all had 6.
Tariq Woolen, Justin Simmons, Minka, and Chauncey Gardner Johnson. Well, you want to tell me when we tell you the difference in those guys? Justin Simmons played 12 games. You know what I mean? So this guy's definitely a ball hawk. And over the last 4 seasons, he's averaged 5 interceptions. He had 6 last year, 5 the year before, 5 the year before, and then 4 interceptions the year before that. The guy's consistently a ball
hawk for sure. He definitely is
a ball hawk. So You got to know if you're throwing it his way, man. There's a good chance that it won't be a completion, and you really want to hope that he won't pick it off. He's that type of playmaker. Like Willie Jack said, he's not the most physical guy when it comes to the line of scrimmage, but if I had my choice to choose where I wanted him anyway, I want him in the back of that defense anyway.
Thanks.
Ask the Baltimore Ravens how many times they bought Ed Reed in the box. Oh man, Ed Reed no. Get out
what you doing here, man? Like, yeah, hey, if I see Ed, like, hey, what you doing, man?
Like, what you doing, bro? Go on back there and pick off a couple balls, man. Go ahead and show Peyton Manning, that you look like you're running towards the middle of the field and speed turn and go pick the ball off the sideline. You know what I'm saying?
Bro, that's going to be coaching film for the next 40 years, bro. That play
and if you've been watching film or you love football just as much as me, you know exactly what play I'm talking about.
Man, yeah, I know too, bro. That is an incredible play to make.
The boy came in and said, look, if Peyton Manning pumps, he always going to come back and throw it.
He said, if Peyton pumps and then looks away, he's coming right back. Yeah, he said that.
Ed Reed is running with his back turned to Reggie Wayne because he ain't worried about him. Soon as he see Peyton Manning pumps that way, he know he's going back. He speed turns, gets there, go picks the ball. Man, ain't too many safeties pulling it off.
That was incredible. That was
incredible. Yeah, it's definitely an incredible play. But
and then also, like you said, like it was an intentional play as well. Absolutely. You know what I'm saying? Like he didn't just find himself in the right spot and then make a play, because sometimes that happens. Yeah. Like, he was like, I was watching that all week. If he pumps and looks away, he's coming right back. You know what I'm saying? Like, man, it was a dude on his front side seam going past him. He let a post go. He knew, he trusted that Peyton was coming back to the sideline for Reggie. He let the post go. Like, bro, that's nuts. That's crazy.
Since we did it, since we here, Willie Jack, let's go ahead and talk about it some more. A lot of people will watch that play and don't really realize what Ed Reed was doing. Like, it's like you can watch that play and be like, oh man, his technique don't look all that well. No, he knew exactly what he was doing, and it was a reason why he turned his back towards Reggie Wayne. He wanted Peyton to think that he was going to the other side of the field when really he knew exactly where he wanted to go the whole time. So let me set myself up for this play as soon as I see Peyton. And he knew when to do it. That's the crazy part. It's like before the play, he didn't backpedal at all. He turned immediately, was looking back at Peyton because, okay, Peyton, if you do this if you want to, I got them in my back pocket. And we know how much of a general Peyton Manning is. Peyton Manning studies film just as much as Ed Reed does. So we know how much he had to be on his game to trick Peyton Manning. You don't walk into a game tricking Peyton Manning. You don't do that.
It don't sound right saying it. I trick Peyton Manning.
An all-time great can go into a game and trick Peyton Manning. That's hey man, we talking my language now.
That was an incredible play. It was truly an incredible play for sure.
Incredible. So yeah, all that to say, not to compare, Justin Simmons is my number 4 safety on the list.
Yeah, bring that back to Justin Simmons, man. The boy nice.
Right, the boy nice. All right. Going to my number 3, Willie Jack, and you just talked about this guy, man. I'm going with Kevin Byard, man. Kevin Byard is my number 3 safety on my list, man. And that Tennessee Titans defense is led by 2 people, man. Let's not be confused. They didn't have a lot of flashy names. They didn't have a lot of big name or big time players, but they were led by two people. And this defense played pretty well, a lot of times. But it was because of one, that big guy up front in Justin Simmons, and the heart and soul, and I believe, me personally, the personality of that Tennessee defense and Kevin Byard. You know what I'm saying? Byard is another one of those do-it-all safeties, or do-it-all guys that is always around the ball, okay? I'm talking about tip passes, fine. Like, have you ever seen a football player and you like, man, he really, like, you see him making plays, you're like, man, he not even that good. You know what I'm saying? He ain't, like, Kevin Byard at first sight, when you see, it's like, oh, man, that was just a tip pass that happened to fall in his hands. Oh, man, he just happened to get that fumble recovery, man. He was just in the right spot at the right time. But when you see that happen over and over and over and over again, it's like,
no, I feel like you watch a film and it's just like, oh, 31 made a nice play. And then like 6 more plays, like you be like, 31's in every frame. 31 is in the frame on every time. Wherever the ball is, 31's in the frame. Every time.
Every time. Whether it's at the line of scrimmage, whether it's deep down the field, it's like Dang, he just made a tackle behind the line of scrimmage. Now he covering a deep pass down the middle of the field, 50 yards down the field. He's there to break it up. Like, dang. Like, how many different ways can you impact the game? And that's the question you are going to continue to ask when you're talking about Kevin Byard, because those are ways he impacts the game. Like I said, the tip passes find his hands, loose fumbles find his hands. You know, even when when he is in position to make a tackle, he finds a way to somehow get the ball out. You know what I mean? Those are the type of guys that it's like, hey man, he's different. He's different because he at any given moment can change the trajectory of a game. You know what I'm saying? I know a lot of people, there's a lot of beliefs, or it's like 50-50 in terms of people that believe in momentum and don't believe in momentum. I'm one of those guys who
momentum is real.
I definitely believe in momentum.
Real thing. Yeah, that's a fact.
And he's the guy that can shift the momentum of a game at any given moment or any given play. And he can do that by just the way he's always around the ball and the way he affects the game in that way. You know what I'm saying? So that's what you're going to get with Kevin Byard. And he's just one of those guys, hey, man, just let him do what he do. You know what I mean? You don't really have to coach him up as much. Just tell him what his assignment is, and he's going to find a way to get in the game and impact that game every single time. So that is the reason why I wanted Kevin Byard at my number 3 spot, man. Tennessee Titans safety, man. I love it. I love it.
No, and you know what, man? I'm glad you had the OG on there, man. Because honestly, I was looking at your list and I was like, because I didn't know how you felt about him, so I didn't know if he would be a guy that would jump this high on your list. So when he didn't show up somewhere, like 4 to 7, I was like, oh damn, he might not have made it. But okay, yeah, man, I see you did a little homework. All right, I appreciate
you. Hey man, you forgot who you on the show with, man. You forgot who your partner was, man.
Hey, you showed right. Well, I'm proud of you, boy. You came a long way, man. Hey, well, I'm gonna go ahead and go into number 3, man. And surprise, surprise, this is where I got Chop's homeboy, man. Tell your mama I found it. Safety from the 49ers.
Tell your mama I found it. What's wrong with this dude, man?
Tyler, no. Whoever. Tyler. Yeah, man. Put his name on there for me, dog. Yeah, man. Chop's boy, man, from San Francisco. I mean, honestly, Chop put me on this guy, man. Like I said, man, Chop put me on this guy.
As always, I mean, what do y'all expect nowadays? You know what I'm saying?
Hey, he did, man. He did, man. It was kind of early in that Niners season. He was like, hey, man, Willie, man, you see that guy out there? Because this is probably what turned me off when he said it. He was like, man, you see little baby Palomalu? He said something about, I'm like, man, hold on, man. You just can't be comparing dudes to the guys, man. You can't just go that far. So now all of a sudden, I don't even like him. Now I got all right, man.
Just off the rip. Ain't no way.
Ain't no way. All right, man, you're going too far. But then so I started, I put his number in my mind, and what I'm saying, I'm like, hey man, the ponytail helps. You know what I'm saying? The ponytail gets bouncing. Boys making plays, man. So, but no, I got him here at 3, and it's kind of now. Is he a better safety right now than Kevin Byard? I don't think so. I don't think he's a better safety right now than a healthy Justin Simmons. But
projections.
But it's projecting a little bit. You know what I'm saying? The name of the game, projection. And so he's a young guy, just like Chop said. His second year in the league, he was all pro. Was he the first team or the? He made
first team.
Okay, there we go. Hey, first team all pro. His second year in the league, his first year as an every down, as an every game starter, and so this is where his trajectory right now is just going up. And so if this is where he's at right now, he's only growing and maturing into the position. I love what they did as far as adding, old boy from the Eagles to that defensive line, Javon Hargrave. I love the addition of Javon Hargrave now to pair with Nick Bosa, and so that Chop can tell you. Chop was a DB. Chop can tell you. The better the pressure is up front, man, the easier my job is on the back end. Hey, and so you already had Nick Bosa giving quarterbacks headaches, and now you bring over probably the best penetrating one technique in the game to add to that rush and to just make quarterbacks get the ball out just that faster. Because now when you step up to get away from Nick Bosa, well, now you got 320 pounds of Javon Hargraves smacking you in the mouth. You know what I'm saying? So I'm thinking with the additions they made there, I do want to see how he played because Jimmy Ward is no longer in that secondary. So Jimmy Ward was the long time kind of elder statesman in that secondary room. He was a guy that kind of jack of all trades. They move him around. He played a lot of slot, kind of rotated with the safeties, and so now he's gone. And so now Tyler Hufanga, he's going to be probably the guy who's going to look to kind of take over and be the leader in that secondary, in that safety room now. And so I do want to see how he transitions there. Like I said, being the guy that somebody else looks to, as opposed to him being able to look over at Jimmy like, hey, Jimmy, what's the word over here? And so I want to see that. I also want to see how that defense looks now that DeMeco Ryans is gone to the Texans, to see, like I said, it would impact maybe not having him there, calling those plays again. But all told, man, I like his play style. I like his aggressiveness. He is a playmaker, man. He does find a way to kind of keep his hat on the ball. And so, yeah, I'm excited to see him keep growing. And like I said, man, so he's a guy that I think if he continues on the path he's on now, if he builds on an all-pro season his first year as a starter, then like I said, man, that arrow is only going up. And so I went ahead and let him sit down in my number 3 chair.
Gotcha. I'm happy about that, Willie Jack. I ain't mad at all. Like you said, it's a projection.
Hey, man,
I do think he's on his way up.
Bro, when are we gonna give him a nickname, man? Y'all can't keep doing me like this every time his name comes up, man. We got it, man. Look, Tyler Hufunians. Cause TH, I can't. All right, we're gonna think of a nick. We're gonna have to give him a nickname this season. That man is gonna get a nickname, man. We're gonna add him to the nickname list because I can't keep doing this to myself, man. But dude, in all seriousness, no, dude is nice, man. Nice young player, man. Baller, ball hawk, all those good expected terms and names we like to throw out, man. When we talk about guys that impact the game, he lives up to all those so far, man. So excited to see him keep growing.
Gotcha. What he said. And I'm happy you got him on your list, man. I'm happy you got him in the spot, man. I hope he continues to get better, man, and build on what is now a pretty good defense, man. So I'm liking it.
For sure.
All right, we'll come on to your number 2 then. Who you got?
Number 2, man. My last 2 are going to be pretty chalk. And so I imagine me and Chop are probably both chalk, but I don't know if they're in the same order. But for me, man, number 2, I've got Big Bad Derwin James, man. So this is where I got DJ sliding in for me. And he's a guy, man. He's one of those guys you build him in a lab. He's to safeties with Julio Jones and T.O. and Megatron. He's to the safety position with those guys were to the receiver position. He's 6'4", like 200, somewhere around 220 pounds. Runs 4.4 nothing. Vertical somewhere around like 38. You know what I mean? And so just like I said, just a full-fledged height, weight, speed specimen. And then he moves and covers pretty well at that size. Now, Travis Kelce probably ate that boy's lunch this last go round, and then he had to body slam him on the 3-yard line. But it didn't change the fact that Travis Kelce went out there and gave that boy buckets. But it's Travis Kelce, man. So it is what it is. But he's a guy. If you need a guy in the secondary that can't even take that assignment, that you can realistically give him that assignment for better or for worse, to cover a Travis Kelce, to cover a George Kittle, cover a Mark Andrews. You know what I mean? He's a guy that he's one of those guys that has the body type in the size speed profile that can even get that assignment and have a chance to be successful. Whether he wins or loses is another thing, but he's a guy that you can at least put him in the ring. And so, very special player. His career so far has been hampered by injuries, which is a shame because he's a guy that, as great as he is, as well respected and well thought of across the league, he's still a guy that, man, he spent a little too much time in the tub, but it still just doesn't take away from his greatness, man. A phenomenal player, and like I said, man, hoping he gives us. Has he had a full season? I don't know if he's had a full 16 and then even going now into 17 game season. I don't know if he's played a full season without just missing any games, one, two, or anything. I don't know if he's done that.
Just only his rookie year, in which he was a Pro Bowl and All Pro guy. That's crazy,
man. That's nuts. Yeah, that's nuts. And so, and so there we go. If the boy can play 16, 17 games, he's All Pro. You know what I'm saying? And so there you go. So assuming he stays healthy, or hoping he stays healthy, and let's let him step into his own full-fledged greatness. You know what I mean? Like we've just kind of been able to see the shadow or kind of glimpses of what that could look like. And like I said, man, hopefully, man, he's able to stay healthy and really give this game everything he's got, man. And when that's the case, there's few guys, if any, that any of us could say are better than this guy if he's healthy and playing the way he plays. So that's my number 2 guy.
Understood. And I'm with you on that, Willie Jack, man. I like some Derwin James too, man. And I'll talk about him in just a second. Jarrell came back through, man. Jarrell came back through, man. And Jarrell gave us his 5 guys, his top 5 guys. He went ahead and listed them, man. Willie Jack, dissect that list, man. What you think, man? You got some names on there you like?
Hey, I'm not gonna lie, man. This is a pretty solid list, man. Number 5, Buda Baker. Number 4, Kevin Byard. 3, Justin Simmons. 2, the player to be nicknamed from San Francisco, man. And then number 1, my dog Minka, man. And then he said he's got some Wi-Fi issues, man. He's been trying to get through in the chat. Hey, it's all good, man. We appreciate you, big dog. But no, I think that's a pretty solid list. I can't argue with. Now he doesn't have Derwin listed on his list. That'd be the only I guess critique of the list. But as far as these names go, all these guys are top 5 guys in my book as well. And so the safety position, especially at the top, is one of those positions where you can say there's 5 or 6 guys that have an argument for the top 5, or there's 7 guys for the top 5 spots. And so, like I said, man, there's going to be some guy who gets left off in this iteration. Derwin James missed the cut, but at the same time, man, the guys who are on this list are ballers. These guys are playmakers. Buda Baker's a 3-time All-Pro, 5-time Pro Bowler. Kevin Byard, a 2-time All-Pro. Justin Simmons, a 3-time All-Pro. Homeboy, you know what I'm saying? 1 year as a starter, 1 All-Pro. You know what I'm saying? And then Minka, you know what I mean, as well, who's also got All-Pro. So I can't knock that list at all, man. I can't knock it at all. It's a good list.
Gotcha. All right, Willie Jack. Well, I'm gonna go ahead and roll into my number 2.
Okay.
I'm gonna roll into my number 2, and my number 2 is flip flop from your 1 and 2, as what it sounds like. And my number 2 guy is Minka Fitzpatrick, man. Minka Fitzpatrick, man, is a special talent. Period. You know, bar none. I would say the best ball hawking safety in the business. You know what I'm saying? That's just the name of the game. We talking about a guy who came over to the Steelers, and I'm talking, I think it was 2 years ago, came over to the Steelers midway through the season. And did he lead the league in interceptions that year? Or he had at least about five interceptions that year. I think he ran 2 back for touchdowns, you know what I'm saying, in a short period of time. And it just showed in a difference in the way that the Steelers used him versus how Miami was using him. And he came over and made an impact instantly on this particular team. So, like I said, best ball hawking safety in the league. Of course, we already talked about he tied for the league in interceptions this past season. You want to talk about a combination of range and ball skills? It doesn't get much better than what Minka Fitzpatrick brings to the table. You know what I'm saying? With the exception of the Eagles and AJ Brown, your boy was flawless.
Hey, that was just a rough day. AJ had look. It's not our fault. Tennessee gave AJ Brown some of Mike's secret stuff and had him pissed off at the whole league that this season, man, because he came out with a vengeance for everybody.
Yeah, man, he came out with a vengeance, man. Especially that's still a secondary that game. But with the exception of that game, man, it's usually a bad idea to throw near Minka Fitzpatrick, man, because Minka Fitzpatrick is gonna go up and get it. He's gonna make the play, and at the very least, he's gonna knock it down. You know, but it's usually dangerous because a lot of times he comes away with the ball. Like I said, great ball skills. Now, of course, Minka plays a larger role, you know, in a passing game, you know, but Minka is also one of the more sure tackles, one of the best tackling safeties in the NFL. I'll say that, you know, and he is the true definition of the last line of defense, you know, and he holds that, you know, to his heart, you know, near and dear, because you can tell by the way he plays. It doesn't matter how far the play gets. If Minka's in the area, 9 times out of 10, whoever has the ball in their hand, they're going down to the ground because Minka's that sure of a tackler. He does an awesome job of being a part of that. Yeah, man, and that's just the way he brings to the table. He's just that complete of a safety when it comes to coverage and his skills in terms of being in terms of tackling, in terms of being in the box, zone, man, he can play it all. He can do it all, you know, at one of the highest levels. And Minka Fitzpatrick, man, is just one of those guys. I actually picked him, I think, his second year with the Steelers to be the defensive player of the year, man. I thought after those few games that I saw, he's about to light it up and lead the league, like have an Ed Reed type of season back there playing free. You know what I'm saying? Didn't quite have that type of season, but
Yeah, no,
Still
the team
supremely
was and
talented.
that the team fell apart around that defense that year. Yeah, for sure.
Absolutely. So still supremely talented. I expect him to have a great year in all pro season. So yeah, Minka Fitzpatrick, man, it's my number 2 safety going into the 2023 season. Willie Jackson,
Yeah,
talk
hey, like
about Minka. Do you want to come back with Minka at your number 1?
well, that's what I say. I can go ahead and knock it out
Yeah,
now
go
and then
ahead,
let
man.
you
You got
put it away for you. So speaking of Minka, man, Magic Minka is your dog's number 1 safety in the league, man. And kind of piggybacking on what my dog Chop was just saying, I think he's an excellent tackler, sure tackler. He's a playmaker with the ball in the air. I mean, so all the high points that my dog Chop just hit for sure. And I think he is one of those guys as well, man. I'm looking at this year here. I mean, we ain't got to the projections yet, but he's a guy I'm really considering for defensive player of the year this year. Just seeing TJ's coming back healthy. I want to see what Pat P still got for me. You know what I mean? And some of those pieces. And yeah, man, I'm expecting another big year from Minka as well. And it's very interesting, like you said, man, because he gets drafted pretty high. I think he was the first safety drafted. I think he got drafted like 2 picks ahead of Derwin and went to the Dolphins, played for Brian Flores, and then just kind of that scheme and what they had him do there, it just didn't. I guess it it didn't necessarily. He felt like a square peg in a round hole. So him and Brian Flores actually kind of were bumping heads a lot, and he requested the trade. Man, thank God, it's one of the greatest gifts Kevin Colbert, man, gave us before he retired. Man, is going down there trading a first round pick and getting Minka Fitzpatrick. And just like my dog Chop said, the boy showed up on a Thursday, and then on Sunday had an interception, but had a pick six. 2 weeks after that, had another pick six. Finished that season, I think, with like 5. It just went nuts in like 8-9 games that he played with us, man. And so, and it's been a fixture on our defense since then. And so, just like my dog Chop said, man, he hit all the high points for sure. Model of consistency. I think he said it perfectly. He is the prototypical last line of defense defender that you want. If you want one guy to be the very last guy before a 50-yard touchdown breaks out, this is the guy you want. Because if the ball's in the air, he can go get that. And if the runner's running with the ball, he can bring him down as well. You know what I mean? And so I do think he's the. I feel like he is the most complete or evenly balanced or most complete safety of all these guys. Like I think he's just as effective and talented in the run game, being a secure tackler as he is, and then also in the passing game, end zone. His time with Miami, a lot of the time as well, he spent half his starts as a starting slot corner. You know what I'm saying? And just being a man, and in Brian Flores' man heavy scheme coming from the Patriots, he was a man slot corner for a lot of that time as well. And played above the line for the most part. You know what I mean? So he's got that in his bag as well, man. So across man, across zone, tackling, being just a good locker room guy, leader. I mean, all those things. I think he checks all those boxes, man. And so for me, man, it gets no better at the safety position than Minka Fitzpatrick for my Pittsburgh Steelers.
I got you, Willie Jack. And hey, man, what did I expect? I didn't expect nothing else, man. I expected you to have your boy right there, and hey, and deservingly so. I can't get mad at that. That's a great pick. That's a very arguable pick. But me, I went a little bit of a different route, man. I went a little different route, and of course, your number 2 is my number 1. My number 1 is Derwin James. Okay, now now don't get me wrong, Minka Fitzpatrick is just as I guess versatile as a Derwin James. But I don't think there's a safety in this league that does it at Derwin James's level. Okay, I'm talking about like you see a lot of guys who does a lot of things good. I think Derwin James does everything great. In terms of in the box, playing free, man or zone. Like I could trust him on an island outside, in my opinion. Like no matter where you put Derwin James, I feel like he's good. He's the type of guy, and Minka is too. But he's the type of guy you can for sure build a defense around. Like you can say, all right, this is what Derwin James is going to do, and because he's going to do this, this is going to affect their offense. So all y'all got to do is do this, and we're going to be good. You know what I mean? I could have a bunch of solid guys around him, and our defense look like one of the best, a top 10 defense in the league, without having any other superstars because I got Derwin James on my team. That's the type of impact I think he has. He's the type of defender where I feel like I could trust him to just go play corner day in and day out. Each and every week, I could trust him to go play some corner and play some real good corner. Play it at a
Wait,
potential Pro Bowl level.
you saying cornerback? Are you misspeaking? Are you mean to say safety? You said talking about him lining up playing just corner every day and down in and down out.
I
Corner.
think I could trust him to do that. Is what I'm saying.
You
I
did
think I
not.
could
Wait, you didn't hear what I said when I reminded y'all that Travis Kelce gave that boy about 10 for $140 and 2 touchdowns?
Okay, you might be talking about. Okay, you might be talking about the best safety. I mean, that's tight end they ever played a game. That's potentially who
you think you're gonna line Derwin James on Devontae?
This guy. This is what I'm saying. I could go trust him to play some corner. There's not many. What you're talking about, Willie. There's not many guys that can do that. Okay, you people teams go out there and they trust Cam Sutton. Teams go out there they trust. I'm just saying, like teams go out there, they trust Cam Sutton. They go out there and they trust who was the Detroit Lions guy. I'm just trying to name random corners. You know what I'm saying? The Jeffrey Okudah. Teams go out there, they trust, Dre Bly. Those aren't guys that's gonna lock down every single day in and day out the best in the league.
Yeah, I don't know. I think that feels.
What I'm saying is the boy can go line up. First off, he line up against Mike Williams and Keenan Allen every single day. And Keenan Allen ain't nothing to play with when it comes to running routes or playing one-on-one against. And the boy do a damn good job of that every day. But I'm just talking about. Don't tell me, Willie Jack.
No. I can hear you fine, but your service got choppy. But now you back now. You good? Yeah, go ahead.
Is my computer telling me I'm talking crazy again? Is that
it might be that might be what was going on. You probably was getting close. See, you was getting close, and it was gonna cut you off.
Okay. Well, let me reel it back in a little bit.
Go ahead.
Derwin James is a do-it-all safety. He can do anything that you ask him to do, and he can do it at a very good pace or at a very good level. Okay, and you can trust him to do just about whatever. He can play just about wherever, and he's gonna play. He's gonna give you all pro caliber play when he's on the field. Now, yes, the injury bug did get him, but we're projecting. I think Derwin James is moving in the right direction, man. He didn't play all the games last year, but he played 14 of them things. And then 14 of them, that boy was the best safety in the business. So I'm going Derwin James, man, my number one safety in the NFL. Going into the 2023 season, man. He playing all 17 this year, Willie Jack.
Hey, I hope you're right. I hope you're right, man.
He definitely is, because you got to remember, I don't know if you forgot, my dog Jay Hurd on the other side of the ball, he going for the MVP. So everything gonna come together for the Chargers. I'm just letting y'all know that right now.
Hey, look here, man. Derwin James was on the same field with Jellyfish Justin when the Jacksonville Jaguars gave up 28 unanswered points in a playoff game just this last year, man. So I don't know how far I'm going with that, but no, man. Like I said, it's all in fun, but no, man, it's hard to critique the pick. Go ahead, put that comment back up, man. Let's see what you say. Hold on.
My bad. I was trying to pull up this one at first, but I'm gonna go back to Keon in a second. But this is what I was trying to say. This is exactly what I was trying to say, and that's what Jarrell was saying.
I'm not gonna lie. If he had to line up, because he's as big as he is. I mean, he's an athletic guy, but I still don't think he's gonna play slot. Like, he would have to be a boundary corner. And I'm not gonna lie, man. If he lined up for 60 snaps at a boundary corner, man, I really think he's getting cooked. I honestly, unless it's like, if it's any of the top 30 guys, I don't know, man. But that's not a knock, because I just don't know of any safety that can realistically like really survive down in and down out as a corner. Not even to fill your head up, but just respect what you do. Corner is a hard ass position to like play. You know what I mean? Like, corners can, you know what I'm saying? So I just don't know if guys can really step in those shoes, man. Step on that island, man, and really thrive like that, man. It's another world out there for y'all on that corner. I ain't gonna lie to you, it really is, man. But let's see what homeboy Duckhouse had to say.
Yeah.
Go ahead, read it to. What did he say?
He said Derwin James has the confidence that sometimes seems to stand alone on the defensive side of the ball in crunch time. If that attitude was contagious in crunch time, that could be the difference.
Bro, I'm glad he said that, because I wanted to say that as well. He played all last year, and I don't feel like he raised the level of the defense around him. Like, I feel like he was a bright spot on a bad defense. And this is a defense that had Joey Bosa for about 6 games, and you had
For how many games?
who?
Everything fell apart around him, though.
No,
Willie Jack,
what
that's what I'm about to say.
Joey Bosa, I think, started out that season, but man, why can't I think of Mac's first name? Why can't I not think of Mac's first name, bro? But Mac, the goddamn.
Khalil Mack. Khalil Mack.
Khalil, man, I kept wanting to say Kendall, but I knew that was on Khalil Mack. But yeah, man. So I feel like, just like he said, I don't think his play, it doesn't appear his play raises the level of the play of the guys around him. So he's like a great player, but it's not contagious. It doesn't like elevate the guys around him. And that's exactly, I'm glad he said that, because I was trying to formulate that myself to be able to say it, and I couldn't. And so, man, very good comment, Duck House. That's exactly how I feel. That's exactly how I feel, bro. And then the counterpoint to that, Cam Sutton playing with Minka Fitzpatrick got $33 million this last year while you talking. You know what I'm saying? Cam Sutton, probably not a surprise to say, I don't know if he's a $33 million cornerback, but playing in the same backfield with Minka Fitzpatrick, 5 interceptions later or 4 interceptions later, it looked like it. That's all I'm telling you. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying.
Hey, but you know what? When you just talked about Khalil Mack, you want to know what it brought me back to? And this is what I see it too. And it's crazy. I don't even know why I went away from what I was saying, but it brought me back to it. Y'all remember when the Chargers initially made that move when they brought Khalil Mack over and they brought J.C. Jackson over, and I said,
"Oh yeah, you didn't like that move."
I said, I'm gonna tell you what I said. Just so and Willie, you hear you the only one.
Yeah, you was not. You were not.
Jarrell might have been in the building because Jarrell usually in the building. But I said at the level that Khalil Mack is playing right now, it won't be too much different than what they were getting from Melvin Ingram. So I don't see that defense rising the way that people thought it was going to rise, and being like one of the top tier defenses, what people expected it to be. And sure enough, now don't get me wrong, there was a lot of injuries that took place, but in terms of the production that from Khalil Mack, wasn't too far off from what Melvin Ingram was bringing that team on the other side of Bosa.
No, I thought Khalil Mack had a solid year for them last year.
Yeah, a solid year. That's what Melvin Ingram had.
I think he was pretty
Melvin
solid.
Ingram had solid years with him. That's what I'm saying. That's my point. A solid year. That's Melvin Ingram year.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I still can't. I'm not gonna put Melvin Ingram on the level of Khalil Mack.
Don't worry about it.
It just don't feel right. It just don't. You know what I mean? It just don't feel right saying that. But I see what you're saying, and you definitely did say that. You definitely did say that. But no, that's a good point. And then also it doesn't help as well, man. I'm curious to see if J.C. Jackson bounces back, man, the $80 million man.
Yeah, I got for New Orleans.
Because boy, I try to tell you, boy, that was armed robbery last year in the first degree. And so yeah, man. So I want to see what he looks like in this second year. Because boy, at first go round, him getting injured probably saved him from getting cut. It was looking ugly for like 4 games. I mean, he was barbecue chicken.
Him and what's his name? Joey Bosa. Both of them only played 5 games.
Okay, yeah. And then, Day One Gang was in the building. He said the same thing. Me and Day One Gang Jarrell was both on your head like, boy, you crazy as hell. You know what I'm saying? So Jarrell.
Hey, see, that's the reason why if you and Jarrell agree, y'all probably should just listen to me. If y'all agree with me, y'all should probably be like, you know what? Hey, Willie, we probably tripping. If Chop saying something and me and you both on the same thing, because I remember I was telling both of y'all about Matt Ryan and
oh, come on, man.
Hey, that ain't crazy,
draft dog. Man.
I remember that draft dog. I'm just saying. Dog.
That ain't fair either, though. But no, hey, I give you credit though, man. You did call it out like that. You did.
All right. Well, let's keep on moving, Willie Jack. We got some honorable mentions, man. I know you got a couple honorable mentions.
Oh yeah,
guys that just quite missed your list that you want to touch on, man. Hey, throw me some of those honorable mentions real quick.
Yeah, and we actually touched on a couple of them because they made your list. So Jamal Adams and Micah Hyde, they were the next 2 names on my list. So I left them off my list in place of Kyle Hamilton and then Jaquan Brisker. So those were going to be the next 2. But then another 2 guys that I wanted on my list, the next guy I probably wanted on my list in the mix with them was Javon Holland. I really like that Javon Holland kid out of Oregon. He was like a combo slot safety hybrid. He goes to Miami. His rookie year in Miami was really impressive. And so really balled and played well. This last year, he took a little step back, and so. And that's honestly why he didn't make this list. If he continued on what he built that rookie year, he probably makes my list at 10, right in there with Jaquan Brisker. But I'm wanting to see him come back and bounce back. And then another guy that's on my watch list, man. Shout out to our dog BP and No Balls No Glory, man. One more time in the building, holding us down. Jalen Petrie, man. Jalen Petrie is a guy I'm very excited to see how he looks now playing in this D'Amico Ryans offense, you know what I'm saying, because of the success we've seen happen with your dog, you know what I'm saying, to be named. You know what I mean? And is this going to be Jalen Petre's second season? Was he a rookie? Or no, did him and Javon Hargrave coming together? Well, either way, in homeboy to be named, second year, first year as a full-time starter, all pro.
That was his rookie year.
Okay. Oh, boom. So he has the same. So I want to see like maybe lightning strikes twice. He gets a talented young safety his second year, and the guy takes off. And so I definitely want to see that and just see how he affects that whole defense as a whole. Derek Stingley Jr. is still over there, yet to really kind of establish himself in a league that's littered with young corners. He's a guy that got drafted top 5 and really still hasn't. He didn't necessarily leave the mark that guys like Sauce Gardner, Patrick Surtain, J.C. Horn. He hasn't left his mark on the game yet, but he's in their class. And so I want to see how he impacts Derek Stingley and then also Jalen Petrie for sure.
For sure. And that's, I was going to mention that name too, Willie Jack, because a lot of people because of the lack of success of that team, people was sleeping on the Houston Texans defense. That defense was very, very good.
No, they got some players on defense.
And Jalen Petrie was a big part of that. The role that he played on that defense. And I expect that defense to continue to get better, especially, adding D'Amico Ryans to that bunch. That defense is going to continue to be special. We'll see what Will Anderson turns into. Maybe he's another piece that takes that defense to another level. So they got some pieces over there. A couple other names I want to throw out there, Willie Jack. You already mentioned Kyle Hamilton. That's another guy that was in there in terms of my list, but or not when we're up there amongst the
consideration. I get you.
My list. But I do want to. It was a couple of the guys I just want to throw out their names too. Jesse Bates. Jesse Bates, man, coming over from Cincinnati is going over to Atlanta, man. A very, very solid safety, man. He is for sure an impact or makes a good impact in terms of the safety position for a lot of different teams or for whatever team he'll play for. And I expect him to go over there and help out this Atlanta Falcons team a lot. You mentioned Javon Holland. We talked about a lot of those other guys. And even Jimmy Ward, man. I throw in Jimmy Ward. He's going over to the Texans as well. So now you pair Jimmy Ward with Jalen Petrie, and the effects of and see the development of Derek Stingley. Hey, man. They draft Will Anderson.
You know what? I did just sit there and say, you know what I'm saying, Tyler Hulaman, you know what I'm saying, he had Jimmy Ward in the secondary with him, you know what I'm saying? And now Jalen Petrie has Jimmy, you know what I'm saying, to help kind of learn and grow in that defense with D'Amico Ryans as well. So, hey, man, this could be a monster year for Jalen Petrie, man. Shout out to our dog BP and No Balls No Glory, man, putting him on the radar.
Absolutely. So, yeah, those are some of the guys I was looking at, man. Some really, really solid guys. And, hey, man, we're going to see what they turn into. We're going to see what they turn into. So,
okay. Hey, well, let's go ahead and recap these lists, man, before we close it on out. Want me to knock mine off?
Yeah. So go ahead and start off and run through your list, and I'm right behind you, Willie Jack.
I got you. So for your boy, man, number 1, Magic Minka Fitzpatrick. Number 2, Derwin, don't get hurt, James. Come on, big dog. Number 3, Chops boy, Tyler. Number 4, Kevin Byard, man. That's the OG, man. That boy has just been sitting there quietly, just balling his ass off for about 10 years, it feel like. Number 5, man, one of those young guys, man, Kyle Hamilton for the Baltimore Ravens. Number 6, Justice Simmons. 7, my dog, Buda Baker. 8, Antoine Winfield, man, another one of my favorites. Number 9, Tyrann Mathieu. And number 10, another one of them young gunners coming up, man, Jaquan Brisker from your Chicago Bears.
Gotcha. And ranking my top 10, man, I got that number 1, man, I got Derwin Real Deal James. I got number 2.
Real deal, I like it.
I like the Magic Minka, man. Magic Minka Fitzpatrick, man, setting my number 2, holding down that Steelers defense. The number 3, I got the do-it-all guy, man, always around the ball, Kevin Byard, man.
Right.
He's my number 3 guy. Justin Simmons, watch out, man. He coming. He on the way. You know what I'm saying? Number 5, Talanoa Hufanga.
That boy good. That boy is good. Look at him.
Man, number 6, man, I got Bill safety, the better half, man. Micah Hyde. Number 7, Buda Baker. Number 8, coming right back to Buffalo. We're going with Jordan Poyer. Number 9, Antoine Winfield. And number 10, round out this list, a bit of a projection here, but I'm hoping this guy comes back ready to go. I got Jamal Adams, man. That's my number 10 guy. He's rounding out my list. And, hey, I'm hoping. You know, man, we see some good football, man. I'm anxious to see football, man. We like 4 weeks away from like training camp starting, Willie Jack. I think we're like 4 weeks away, dog. I can't wait till training camp starts.
Dog,
I need something, dog.
I am too, bro. I'm like, man, I'm so thirsty on YouTube looking for just clips and sound bites of Rick Odyssey, rookie camps, or anything, man. So I feel you there. I am super excited about Jamal Adams. Jamal Adams coming back healthy. Your dog Tyreek Woolen. Man, that young killer, man, Devon Witherspoon as well. I can't wait to see what that defense does. They brought Bobby Wagner back home as well, man. So I really think those Seahawks are gonna do something special this year for sure. But hey, man, sound like that's it. That's all, Chop.
That's what it sounds like to me, big dog. That's it. That's all, man.
Said, man. Hey, that's it. That's all, man. We came, we saw, we conquered, and did what we had to do. Y'all know what was going on. Y'all shouldn't expect nothing less. You know what I'm saying? So, hey, they know. You know what you came in. You know what you signed up for, big dog. Y'all know what's going on. Hey, just like always, man, we appreciate all the love and support, man. Them members is in the building today, Chop, man. Let's run them down real quick, man. Shout out to the home team, man. Mom, dudes, and baby sisters in the building. We appreciate y'all. Shout out to our fellow CMU alum, Duck House Studios, Big Dog Keon in the building, man. And you know what, man? It's been a while since we gave out a game ball, Chop.
It's been a while.
It's been a while, man. Hey, Duck House Studios, our dog Keon. Game ball performance today, man. He was in the chat, man. He was very active early and often in the chat, man. He had some excellent points to be made, man, all the way through. So we appreciate that. Day One Gang Jarrell found his way back into the mix today, man. Always good to see Day One Gang in the building, man. Man, one of the other Day One Gang, man. Our dog BP, man. No balls, no glory was in the building as well, man. Man, I'm scrolling for you, man. Y'all know what's going on. Damn. Say it with me at home, because you know I say it every week. If I forgot to say your name, charge it to my head. Don't charge it to my heart. You know we think about you, big dog. We appreciate all the love, support as always, man. Hey, we wouldn't want to do it without you, man. We glad we don't have to, man. We appreciate our love, support, man. Y'all come through and really hold us down, man, and make this as fun as it would be for me and Chop just to sit here and just go back and forth sparring with each other, man. It's that much better when you guys are involved and active the way y'all was tonight, man. So we definitely love that, man. Want to shout y'all out for holding us down the strong way like y'all always do, man. Wednesdays at 7 o'clock. You know we don't wear no watches. We ain't got to rush the people right in here in the penthouse, kicking football flavor with the fam. Now, you can find us, you know what I'm saying? Same bad time, just a different back channel. Wednesday, 7 o'clock. Put my dog Chop right now on the spot, man. Call the next group, man. What we doing next week, man? Next Wednesday for the folks. What we got?
So you know we just came off the safeties. So I think that the equivalent of the safeties, and I think if we can spice up the show a little bit, I think this will be a little bit more exciting. Let's talk about the RBs, man. Let's go running backs for the next show, Willie Jack.
Ooh. Hey, I like it. You like it, I love it. You like it, I love it, man. So, hey, running backs next Wednesday, man. Wednesday, 7 o'clock. Tap right back in with your dogs, man. Man, hey, top 10 running backs headed to 2023. I'm curious to see this one. I'm curious to see how this one shakes out, man. I can promise you, I'm probably going to have a couple new faces on my list already. Already right now, man, I can tell you it's probably going to be about 3 names on my list, man, that you may not see coming. So, man, y'all tap in, y'all tune in to see what's going on with that.
That's what the projection's about, and I'm telling you, I'm coming with something too. I might. This gonna be a spicy show. That's it right now.
Okay, hey, my dog Chop said he off the porch and he ain't going back. My dog Chop said he off the porch, he ain't going back, man. Y'all be on the lookout, bro. Y'all got Chop out here running wild, boy. So, hey, y'all tap back in, tune in with your dogs, man. Next Wednesday, 7 o'clock, we will be breaking the running backs down, man. Hey, appreciate our love and support one more time, man. We can never say that too many times. Hey, and just like that, we out this thing, man. Y'all have fun. Y'all be safe. Until next time, peace.
Peace.